freezing my ass off here.
Good morning,
Good morning,
Macon,
everybody.
Georgia, and everyone else around the world through the World Wide Web. This is the morning roast for Monday. Excuse me.
Monday.
Sheesh. Stupid weekend. Yes. Doggone Monday, February 18th, 2013. It's a Monday morning right here. It's 8:03 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in Macon, Georgia. It's going on, 24 degrees outside Macon, Georgia. 24 degrees.
Shit, no wonder I'm dying over here.
Yeah, no wonder I got a brain freeze.
I'm dying over here.
I'm dying.
I'm dying over here.
See, it's 24 to see. That's no wonder I also had a brain fart freeze.
I thought I was living in Georgia.
Yeah. It's 24 degrees with a high of 61
Good morning,
and a low of
Cyber
42. So
Good morning,
keep
Iraq. Good
your
morning,
jacket.
Three Bears. Good morning, DS.
Good morning, John Boy.
Good morning, everybody.
And Rain, new chatter, Rain52. Thanks for coming in and chatting with us. This is the morning roast. We're live at the Nut House with yours.
Minus Anthony.
Minus Anthony.
Yeah, the
Anthony
rooster flew the nest.
Yeah, he wasn't able to come today. It's like it was a school what they call
Holiday.
school holiday. Yeah, President's Day, and
They're on a break.
they're on a break. So his kids, he's going to be taking care of the kids. He's going to play Mr.
I
Mom
see.
today. Yeah. So
Who brought the kids?
about the kids.
Get rid of them kids.
Hey, it's take your kids to work day at the morning roast.
Yeah. He
That
should
would be
have brought him here.
That's what I just fucking
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But you
shut
were
up,
said.
boy.
Take your kids to work day.
Yeah,
at
but
the morning roast.
there's only so many seats you can put on a 10-speed bike. You know, just
Yeah. Wow. Good morning,
Sorry.
gamer girl. Look at that.
Take kids to the carriage.
Isn't that gorgeous?
yeah.
And I have a surprise for you.
Why don't you give them, tell them what it's all about?
Oh, what's this for?
Look at that.
Tell the rest of the viewers.
Ooh.
Or
Yes.
Mrs. Fields.
Wow.
Tell them where'd you get them from?
I got him, of course.
Mm-hmm.
From I just said, thank you, gamer girl.
Yeah.
Oh,
they don't
jeez.
know. They don't know.
The gamer girl.
Gamer girl, you are a dear. You are an angel. I'm telling you, I
Yes.
love Mrs. Fields. I love them.
Actually, I got a couple of things. Would you mind just sticking it there?
Yeah.
That'll take the place of Anthony.
Where's
Box
Spider-Man?
head.
Wow.
Well,
Spider-Man.
still no books. No. Oh, thank you again. Oh, by the way, I got a couple of games I want to play with you guys today, but we'll wait later. So, but it'll be fun. It'll be fun. So you guys are doing good. You had a good weekend. You were down at the film festival.
Yes, it was
How was
fantastic.
that?
Fantastic. According to the news, it was a record showing. 87 film entries and over 2,500 attendees went to the film festival.
Wow.
Yes, very good, very good. I went to see the big screen premiere of Nick Chopper and the 40 Wolves. It was so beautiful to see it on the big screen.
Really?
I loved it. The sound was much better than seeing it on my TV, so I loved it. My mom loved it, and even some couple of people from her church actually went to see it as well. So
Wow.
as
What
well
they
as
think
the
of
other
the blood
shows.
and the gore.
Well, yeah, I mean, they knew. I told them, I gave them a preface. There's not going to be Judy Garland. There's not going to be any singing, no Munchkins in this one. It's
No.
gonna
Actually,
be
they're coming out with a new movie. I want to see that.
Yeah. I think his name James Franco is going to play the Wizard. It's called the I don't know, but it's supposed to be a
Yeah, the
remake
Wonderful
of
Wizard of Oz or
Yes.
some bullshit.
Yes, where James Franco, Spider-Man fame in 127 hours, he's going to be playing the Wizard, as far as we know.
Wow.
There were a lot of good attendees. There were great movies, especially some short films that I got a chance to see. It was lovely, and I really hope, and fingers crossed, I hope with the luck that this will be just an ongoing, growing sensation here in the middle of Georgia, that we don't have the word just depend on the cherry blossom for income for this city. This
Right.
hopefully will be the Sundance of the South, because especially if you get more participants, as well as getting like the terminal station have charter buses and charter plane trips, like they have at Sundance, where you have charter rooms and packages, with the
Yeah.
neighboring hotels. It could be a sensation much more 10 times bigger than it was this year. I mean, it was just imagine the potential.
How was the
Yeah.
crowd, San Antonio?
Yeah, how you doing?
Hey, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That's
Eh.
Anthony.
But how was?
Yeah, baby.
How was the? As far as the crowds and all that, it was pretty crowded.
Oh yeah, it was crowded. I guess crowd's not a. There was a lot of people. There was a lot. There were a lot of filled seats. Say put in.
Hey, you're not the shortest guy here anymore.
Huh?
You're not the shortest guy here anymore.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's shorter than you. He's
Spider-Man.
shorter than you. He's shorter than you.
Yeah. Feels good.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I was, of course, dealing with my illness, just trying to get some sleep, but not sleeping at all. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to participate in this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully next year. But it's been really rough, especially being in a house that's so cold.
Mm-hmm.
That I feel like I'm trapped in one room.
Wow.
Because I come out and it's like, well, look at how many degrees it is in here, right?
Right.
Outside is what? What'd you say?
It was 24 degrees.
Yeah, well, it's probably like 20 degrees in here. Because somehow it traps in the freaking cold air in here.
I thought, well, Jesus, if it's that good, it's probably much. It was colder than my place, because I tell you, I turned off the central heat,
Yeah,
like it,
perfect.
because
Leave them both on.
I wanted to save energy, and I went back. I spent the night over mom's. I was to take her over to her doctor's appointment, which is at 6:30 today. My sister's gonna pick her up, and I went back to my place, and I looked on the degrees. It was like 57 degrees.
In your house.
Yeah. Wow. It was like 15 degrees cooler than normal. 15 degrees below the room temperature is 72 degrees. And I just had to put that sucker back on, because it doesn't, well, I know I catch a lot of flack, like, you ought to keep it at 68. Why do I keep it at 68 when room temperature is at 72?
Yeah,
You just keep
68 is not enough either for me.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you just basically, you're wasting energy. You might as well just go ahead and turn the whole thing off and just walk around with a quilt all day if you're going to do that.
Well, that's kind of what I do all day. walk around with this thing all day.
Mhm.
But and even this doesn't help. Here's the weird shit. I'm in my bedroom. I got the heater right up against, like, literally no more than 2 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
It's still cold. It's still freaking cold. Because if I move over this way,
Mm-hmm.
this is cold air. So unless I stay right in front of that heater, everything else around me is cold.
Mm.
Now you tell me, what the hell is that all about? And meanwhile, I've been blowing electric like you would not believe. I could expect my bill to be over $200 this month.
Jeez Louise.
Wow.
Just looking at the chat room, I was just hearing Sabuki says Glaston. That's correct. I hope that's the correct pronunciation. Glastonbury Music Festival started as a free party for hippies. Now it's the biggest in Europe. It says, LOL. And you lot take the piss out of the UK where they went to town in a
That's
t-shirt this
funny.
morning. Lovely sunny day. Oh man, what I kill for like 60 degrees right now.
It's 19 degrees right now over where Official Gamer Girl. Where are you again, dear?
I think she said
Good morning, you're at
Pennsylvania or Delaware or something.
Delaware, Pennsylvania, or
New Jersey.
New Jersey. Gotcha.
Ooh,
Jersey
yeah.
girl.
Jersey girl.
My old
Thank
haunts.
you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much for
Thank you so
everything
much.
you love. We really appreciate it.
Yes.
Actually, part of the game I want to play this morning,
Mm-hmm.
well, I'm not going to give it up yet.
Okay.
But it's called Interpret the Dream.
Mm-hmm.
Interpret the Dream. I had a couple of dreams last night that I think are connected
Mm-hmm.
somehow. It's a message dream, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You know how to interpret dreams there? Do you?
Not exactly.
Do you
I wish
believe
I
in
could.
dream interpretation?
I think so. If the person's good enough to interpret.
Well, no, I'm saying, do you believe in dream interpret? Do you believe that dreams mean something?
Oh yeah. It means something because it's basically trying to give you some type of understanding or a warning of some kind of
Yes.
something that's going to happen in the future.
Yes, well, I hope this one wasn't a warning, but it definitely was very interesting. Why don't we start it now?
Okay.
Okay, I had this dream that I was hanging out with this young lady, and there was some kind of a frame that is round, kind of like a ship's porthole, right?
Mm-hmm.
And somehow she finds a way to get behind this thing. And she's looking at me, and I'm looking at her, and I'm sitting on a couch. And all of a sudden, we together start singing Yellow Submarine.
Mm-hmm.
Because, the porthole looked like a submarine. Anyway, we're singing the Yellow Submarine. And all of a sudden, these two black guys walk in
Okay.
and interrupt us. One goes over to the girl at the porthole. She's basically ignoring him. And the other guy comes up to me. And he starts doing this to me, like with a gun. And so I bit him in the finger.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, you better be worried about dying, something like that. I said, I'm not worried about dying right now, and you ought to be worried about living.
Oh wow.
And next thing you know, the guy looks at me, and it hit him. I mean, all of a sudden, he turned into like this nice guy. And then as he's leaving, he tells his partner, come on, let's go. As he's leaving, he looked at me and kind of gave me a thumbs up and left. Okay, there's a dream. What do you think?
Wow. I don't know. I really can't call it. I mean, it could be anything. I mean, I'm not saying I'm
Freebirds wants to know what you ate before you went to bed.
Say again?
What you ate. Because sometimes you eat like spicy food, you have weird dreams.
Well, yeah, that is true. Because I used to eat. I used to be probably not used to be. I'm still addicted to like really spicy potato chips, like the mesquite barbecue, and especially that new super hot jalapeno potato chips. And I had the most outlandish dreams, like I was being chased by a bear, and I locked the door, and all of a sudden the bear tried to pick the lock and stuff like that. It's like, hey. Bear's not supposed to be able to pick lots and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that. That's
well, you never know. Well, what did I eat before I went to bed? I didn't. Maybe that's part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. You're looking for confirmation that the path you have taken is the right path of action.
Yeah, that's what Sabuki
wow.
says. And
Sabuki, I think I'll switch off what I thought it was. It sounds like you're conflicted about something. Have you made a big decision lately? Have I? Yeah, I had Ed moving. That's the last one.
Fisher Gamer Girl says it sounds like you're conflicted about something.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, well, I'll tell you one thing. I think the girl behind, believe it or not, the girl behind that glass, that round porthole, was Gamer Girl, because I was really touched recently by the good that she's been. So I think she has something to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that funny? I'm serious.
Could you repeat that?
Huh?
I didn't. I was just trying to.
No, I said I think the girl behind the porthole, Gamer Girl, very tough. She sent me when something's sick and you get that kind of love, you kind of feel it, you know.
Yeah.
It's like a spoiled patient. And Ed's gonna join us. I'm so happy.
Okay.
We can use you and
help me.
was for one of the aggressors, maybe. Maybe. Yeah. But I like your
This yours?
I like the idea that you said, Sabuki. That's pretty good. And yeah, both of them. Have I made a big decision lately? Yes. I think both of those sound more reasonable. Okay, now we're coming up to the second dream. The second dream was this. I'm all dressed up in a suit, and I go, and I'm going somewhere. Who the hell knows where I'm going? I know I'm just walking somewhere. And the next thing you know, I run into this big crowd of people that are real highfalutin professionals. And as soon as I get there, everybody, I mean, I'm talking over a couple hundred people, just shut down and look at me.
Right.
And I'm standing there like this, but I felt good about what the crowd was feeling.
A little more.
And
Okay.
all of a sudden, I hear, I swear to you, I hear, Irving, you have to go to the interview for the morning roast down there. So I'm like, oh shit, I'm in an interview. So I leave them, and I start looking for the guys that are going to interview me. And guess what?
What?
I never found them. And instead, I wound up eating some meal out of a white box.
Wow.
And there was no meat in it. It was all like rice and just no meat. Thanks, Ed.
Well, yeah.
What do you think that means? Oh, and by the way, as I'm walking back, there was no interview. I lost my jacket. So I was walking, eating with a vest on. Somehow I lost my jacket. And I said, well, I'm not going to go back for it. So then I go into a building. This is while I'm eating the food now. And then somehow the food disappears. And I'm in an elevator trying to get to the lobby. and I never quite did. I woke up right after that. All right, guys, what do you think of that one?
I know there's got to be something. I was just trying
Saibuki.
Sabuki says the other one was Vort, one of the aggressors. This is yay for Ed.
Yeah, Ed's going to sit in with us today.
Okay.
He'll do a better job than Anthony. At least he doesn't scream.
Oh, they've seen us scream.
Oh yeah, yes they have. It's not Ed's first rodeo. That's for sure.
No, Ed's I think the crowd has to do with the protest.
Cookie.
Very good.
Oh, you must have read my mind. I thought there was something about the protest, or at least the one that was bitch your finger talking about you ought to think about dying. No, you ought to think about living. I thought maybe that was because you were, they thought you were some
Hey,
way
close your door. I can feel
would
the
like curl up into a ball or something, and won't maybe just anticipation of the outcome of the GBI investigation. I mean, I'm just
It's kind of cozy, guys.
Well, Saibuki says, looking for something that you cannot find is a common dream. And eating a food could be you settling for the next best. Oh, you're a freaking genius, Saibuki. You
Wow.
English people got it, baby. Okay, so you were going to have an interview and then it never happened. That's correct. Think to what you're looking for. The jacket just adds to the losting.
wow.
Wow.
Gamer Girl says, I googled it. It says that if you had a gun pulled on you, it means that you feel like you are being passive aggressive in a situation.
Well, it wasn't a gun. It was weird. It was his finger, and I bit it. I bit I bit his finger. That's when he pulled back.
Okay.
That's when he said to me what he said. You better worry about, what was it?
You better worry about dying.
And I said, you
better
need to worry about living. Which I think is a good comeback considering I'm in a dream.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Very, very true. But as I said, the Macon Film Festival, the 8th annual and current film festival that just ended yesterday, was a phenomenal success. It had over 2,500 attendees to come check out the 4-day event, and had over 87 entries. And I have the list of the films who won for the 2013 Film Festival award winners. The narrative feature winner was Sal, sponsored by Kurt Godsey. Narrative short film award winner was The Silk, also sponsored by Kirby Godsey. Best documentary was Child 13. Best student film was The Sweatshop, sponsored by Capital City Bank. Oh, Child 31, the documentary, was sponsored by Georgia Film Commission. Best animation winner was A Dress is Approximate, sponsored by Seth Bush Pediatrics. Best music video, A House, a Home, sponsored by Seth Bush Pediatrics. Best directing went to Alexander Gaeta for Shoot the Moon, sponsored by Henry and Deborah Allender. Best acting went to The Silk. Best cinematography went to Child 31. Best sound design award went to Shoot the Moon. The Melvin Douglas Award for Best in Show. Melvin Douglas, who was born in Macon, who won an Academy Award for HUD, has his Best in Show award. The award winner for that one was Shoot the Moon as well. That was pretty much the big winner for this Macon Film Festival, at least feature.
Shoot the Moon, isn't that an old film?
Well, yeah, that's a totally other one. That was made in the late 70s, early 80s. But this one, I guess, is totally different. Sponsored by Paula Kapeloff and Marsha Kapeloff. Southern documentary, Take Me to the Water, the story of Pinpoint, sponsored by Georgia Power Company. Music documentary, Basically Frightened, the musical madness of Colonel Bruce Hampton, sponsored by Newtown Macon. Best audience short, I guess these are audience choice awards right here. Audience choice for short film, Groom's Cake, sponsored by Knight Foundation. Also sponsored by the Knight Foundation, audience choice winner for feature-length film, Miss Dial. I think that was an African-American film directed.
Yeah.
And best audience choice for documentary was Death of a Cemetery. And festival premiere gave recognition for all the short films. Blind Sight, The Cab Ride, Catch Me, Echoed Eulogies, How We Got Away With It, Loading, Moving, Missed Dial, Night on the Lam, Suicide Kid, Pepper, Utage, and Where You Going, Thomas, and also a special premiere recognition award for Nick Chopper and the 40 Wolves, directed by our very own Anthony Harris, co-directed by Anthony, and yes, which both of us were in, and which was a great thing. And I got to meet some other filmmakers at the film festival and gave them my business card in case they need someone to do voiceovers or taglines for their movie. So, hopefully be able to hear my voice in some of their films. Hopefully.
Well, unfortunately, I missed all this shit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't know what that feels like. Missing the events that barely ever happen around here.
Oh yeah, I feel that way. Never having enough money to go tickets to see the '96 Olympic Games, and it was like an hour and a half away from my. Oh yeah, I definitely feel it.
You feel like you missed out on life.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Hey, well, what are you gonna do? That's just. It wasn't meant to be.
Yeah.
And besides, I would have probably run into people that can't stand me anyway.
Yeah, I know, because I remember my cousin was telling me, man, I had a good time at the Olympics back in '96. It was so, you should have seen it. Yeah, I wish I did, but fortunately I had overtime at my job.
Well, now that Anthony is taking care of his kitties, it was Yurak is the one that reminded me. Today's the day that the report comes out.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
And so...
And Riekert did an exclusive with Kenny Bergamy about the Sammy Davis thing.
Who?
Mm-hmm.
Riekert.
Yeah, what about him? I'm sorry?
About the Sammy Davis thing?
You mean
and him running for mayor again.
Oh.
It's on MAZ.
That's an early morning. This was like an early morning.
It just came out.
Okay.
I'll put the link on there so they can see it.
Okay.
'Cause I can't play it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if they want to watch it, this is our mayor. Probably gonna showboat the tragic shooting of Sammy Davis.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what was the conclusion?
More notoriety for his running of mayor again.
I don't know. He may be a long shot because I don't think he may not be able to be successful on this one if he's going to do that.
Well, that's what Ellis was doing when he showed up. Showboating.
Mm-hmm. Of course, they know that they didn't just drop. I mean, they didn't just drop the ball. They just fumbled into the end zone and got a safety for the other team.
Oh well, come on! Look how many cops are surfacing right now.
Yeah.
Well,
wow.
Yeah. It all started with a judge and a DUI.
Look at him laughing, that son of a bitch.
I could try to play it on here if you want.
If you can, please do.
This guy Kenny's a good friend of his, so it doesn't surprise me.
Well,
yeah.
Plus he used to be a co-worker of mine when they used to have News Talk Central at Fox 24, ABC 16 at the at the station.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
I'm gonna do it.
We're gonna have the video in just a few minutes, a few seconds, and here we go.
When do you think this thing's gonna come out?
Okay.
No.
Can't seem to get rid of that extra weight.
Oh no, we got to go through a commercial here first.
Yeah, that's how the internet makes its bucks. But it should be coming up in a few minutes. Okay.
And since President Obama wasn't available, we got Macon Mayor Robert Rickard to join us.
Hey, I didn't know Mindy McCreary was dead.
Several things we wanted to talk to you about this exclusive interview. First, let's start with 2nd Street, the revitalization. It's been a big plan of yours. There have been some, controversial pieces where some council members would actually like to see you do some add-ons, and you said you can't do it all at one time. Tell us what is in the plan initially.
Well, this is a plan that the voters approved, at least the concept that the voters approved in the SPLOST in November of 11. There's $8 million allotted of SPLOST funds for development of the 2nd Street corridor, whatever that is. Well, the concept then, the first thing was to get an urban design team of CHA and Huntley Partners to come in We have had public charrettes and input sessions. We've identified stakeholders. We've had multiple meetings. And now the concept has been refined to a plan that would basically use 2nd Street from the east side of the river, where it joins Gray Highway, and bring it over the Carl Vinson Bridge and into downtown Macon, so that you're going past the Conference Center and the Coliseum, past the Bibb County Courthouse, Government Center, Business Center at Mulberry and Cherry and Plum, the Medical Center, then down to the Law Enforcement Center, and just below the Law Enforcement Center, you deviate to the west, go over the railroad tracks and tie onto the end of Little Richard Penniman and out to the new Student Center and the football stadium at Mercer and I-75. You don't do this with a high-speed street. Instead, it's a complete street, pedestrian-friendly, retail-friendly, that is designed to link these different centers of economic activity into a synergistic pattern so that the total exceeds the sum of the parts. And everybody is beginning to get real excited about it. Yes, some folks would like to see it go a different route or have more impact in a different neighborhood, the west side, the east side, the south side, just depending on where you are. But we say that what we're trying to do is improve everybody's downtown. So regardless of which side of town you live on, it's everybody's downtown. And this is something that we think would be tremendously beneficial to the community.
Do you see this similar to Promised Neighborhood, which has become controversial, in changing attitudes, changing minds, changing the future for a lot of families and neighbors?
I do indeed. Big programs are necessary to change intractable problems. Where you've got intractable problems of poverty and crime and ignorance, it takes a Herculean lift to change the dynamics. You can't just go in there with some paint, you know, and you've got to kind of have more of an urban revitalization program. So yes, in that instance, both are designed to take on intractable problems and make real progress for us.
Is there a real hope for the Promised Neighborhood? It has become so controversial, and some would say clouded. Can we see this take off?
Yes, I think you can, because the more you learn about it, the more you're convinced that nothing's wrong. And while there may be the appearance of impropriety, the more you learn, there's no impropriety there at all, and it makes good sense. It's a great program. It's got a number of volunteer organizations, 501c3 organizations that are coming together in a collaborative fashion to focus on the issues in.
Yeah, well, I cut it off because it's 8 minutes long, and we don't need to listen to his spiel trying to get reelected. Hasn't done damn thing for the city since he's been elected.
That's true.
Oh, now all of a sudden it quiets out with the Kroger thing.
Yeah.
What happened there?
Well, that was Gary's house in that
Yeah,
picture.
virtual imagery, yeah.
Yeah, that was his house in that video.
All right.
Yep.
Well, anyway.
Where's the voice to this thing now?
I
Most
killed
important
it.
thing is what I want to hear.
I turned it off because we're not playing it. We're back on live. We're live with it.
Yeah.
We're on camera.
Well, at least we know that there was an early morning interview with
I think it was
Macon
recorded.
Mayor
I
Robert.
Oh, here we go.
Well, possibly. Well, yeah, probably 6:30.
It was recorded.
So it was probably recorded on an earlier day, probably sometime last week or something.
Well,
But-
I didn't preview that, so I didn't know what it was. So,
All right, if is there any way you could bring that up, Ed? I hate to bother you,
you want
but
to put it back on?
the most important part is talking about about this whole bullshit GBI and.
Is this too long?
Yeah, it was. His emails.
I don't want to hear about some bullshit plan that he hopes to have if he's freaking
You
reelected.
go ahead and continue the show. I'll find a spot, okay?
Well, anyway,
Yeah.
it's
Do the
8.
show.
It's 8:35 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in Macon, Georgia. It's 24 degrees outside with a high of 61 and a low of 42. So if you have a jacket, please keep it on at least till it gets up, warms up to like 40 or 50 degrees. This is the Morning Rose live at the Nut House with yours truly, DB, with Irvin Martinez and making karaoke Ed Einbinder substituting for Anthony
The
Harris.
fathead who's not here. Anyway, I understand. He's got his kids.
Yeah.
By the way, happy President's Day.
Yes, happy President's Day. So you're going to be out of luck if you're going to go to the post office today. So it's closed.
It's still playing over here.
Yeah, I know. You're watching it online over there, Eric. Get with the program, dude. I'm on a different...
Oh, I see.
It's 66. Oh, geez, it's 66 degrees over in England. Okay, over Saibuki. Okay. Well, of
Yeah,
course,
that's what he
because
was saying earlier.
yeah, because it's y'all 5 hours ahead of us. So it's like what 1:36 p.m. in the afternoon. Yeah. 1:36 in the. Well, there's a story while Ed's getting into the queuing the part where he's talking about the Sammy Davis Jr. Shooting. There is something that Mr. Gamer Girl brought to our attention. There's this alien-like creature that was discovered in New Jersey, and so then they wonder what it is.
That's my ex-wife.
What the hell is that?
That's
Just a fish that's kind of freaky.
Yeah, it says this photo has been making rounds on the internet, and it looks like the aliens have landed in New Jersey. It says it looks like an alien-like creature that was pulled from New Jersey's water, and let us know what you think. Is it an alien or a mutation of some sort? But I'm starting to think, if I'm not mistaken, according to what one person said on there, I wish Henry Caspar from Linden High School, it says it may be a sea lamprey. You know, a leech type of fish wildlife. That's it has like it's like just a great big sucker for a head, and it has like many teeth.
And this thing's just the biggest one they ever found.
Anthony, a great big sucker for a head.
Yeah. No.
He's probably watching right now. He's on that smartphone. Dumbass on the smartphone.
Yes. But
Hey,
it looks like a sea
he's not
lamprey.
here. Are we ready to watch this video now?
Okay, go ahead. We got the remainder of the video.
Yeah, they right away they want to do, oh, it's an alien, and look. Yeah, everybody jumps to conclusions on shit, you know? This is probably just a bit of a
Justice
freaking
being done.
nature.
And we will get to the bottom of this.
Okay.
We will know the answers. However, when you bring the GBI in, it prolongs the investigation. David Cook tells me that they are waiting now for the forensic test results to come back. And they want to present him with the complete file, no parts outstanding. So we have reason to believe that the GBI will turn the report over to David Cook sometime in the near future. Exactly whether that's this week or next week, we don't know. But in the near future.
Late last week, you urged calm and patience.
Absolutely.
Are you fearful of if the officer is cleared of what happened, that somehow there would be some unrest?
Unfortunately, what we've had is too many people spreading rumor and innuendo and thinking that they know the facts, and they don't know all of the facts. And we've even had some people to use, I would just say, inflammatory language. And that's not what we need now. What we need is for people to understand that the process is working. We will get to a just result, but justice can't be rushed. You have to let the investigation come to its conclusion. So nobody's trying to hide anything, nobody's trying to delay anything, and we will get to the bottom of this. But let the process work. Let the GBI finish their investigation. Let them present their investigation in its totality to the district attorney. Then he will decide whether or not there's any criminal misconduct involved. If there's no criminal misconduct involved, then it drops back down to the Macon Police Department, to the Internal Affairs, to determine whether or not any administrative policies or procedures were broken, and whether or not any discipline is necessary there. And then finally, there's a third level of this, in that the family has retained an attorney, so we can expect a civil action for damages, perhaps, at some point in the future.
Do you think a vocal group has been unfair, calling for you to fire the police chief in this case, for him to step down? Some folks have targeted you personally, that you weren't in control of the police force. How do you respond to that?
I would respond to it by telling them that the police department, as well as every other department in the city of Macon, is constantly undergoing revision, supervision, and scrutiny of the employees that work for them. Any profession, whether it's medicine, whether it's preachers, or whether it's lawyers or police officers, you're going to have some bad apples in the barrel. I mean, your grandmother told you that, there are bad apples in every barrel, but what you do is you don't dump the whole barrel out. Instead, you selectively get rid of the bad apples. the city. When somebody, exhibits conduct that's unacceptable for the role that they occupy or that they have with the city, they're removed. And every department is constantly going through this disciplinary function, so that you go through the series of verbal reprimands, written reprimands, suspensions, and terminations.
Before you get away this
Yes,
morning,
sir.
are you prepared to announce your campaign to be mayor of the consolidated government?
Not prepared to announce it, but we are favorably inclined to do that, Kenny, and we're talking to a number of people now. First among them, my wife, and trying to get the go-ahead. But there's a lot to be done here in our community, and I think I have a role to play. So
My computer's running slow.
Okay.
But yeah,
Well,
we
anyway,
got
that was the interview.
boring thing.
Current mayor.
Current Mayor Robert Rickard being interviewed by Kenny Burgamy of WMAZ Channel 13 News, Macon's local CBS affiliate, about the outcome and of the Sammy Davis Jr. Tragedy, and hopefully we'll have total outcome of this. We'll know about it later today, since they said it was supposed to be scheduled
Wow.
for today.
So they
To
got to go
avoid-
through all these reports.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, I mean, they're just pushing it down the road. I think the GBI report comes out today. It's kind of a convoluted kind of document,
Right.
and no one's going to get straight answers. Like, that's just the bottom line. They're going to put off the straight answer for another day.
Right.
Well, let's see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, definitely. That's true. We'll definitely see what happens.
Here's your picture.
You know?
Yes, we have the picture of the creature, alien-like creature that
There it is.
that Gamer Girl talked about. Was it? And I think it is a sea lamprey. It's not a mutation. It's an actual type of fish.
Like a
leech-like
leech.
creature. Yeah, like a leech. It's like a leech-like fish creature, underwater creature.
Why'd they
That's
kill it?
I don't know. I guess they thought it really was an alien. You know.
They always
You don't
screw
know.
everything up. Let me the largest
Especially for real
crocodile.
aliens.
The largest crocodile was over, I think it was 26 feet long. Just died. Why couldn't they leave that thing in the water? They pulled it out, started to study it, and it died.
Well, that's this thing like when they're talking about Charles Manson. We want to study. Well, why don't he just die like that freaking crocodile? I mean, that dude's been in jail for 40 years. I mean, he spent like over 2/3 of his life behind bars. Why don't he just walk that green mile and get it over with? But that's just me. But,
Boy.
But anyway, some other bad news I just found out.
What do we
country
got?
music
Mindy,
singer,
yeah.
troubled country singer Minnie McCready, age 37, has died of an apparent suicide as a result of a single self-inflicted gunshot wound.
I thought that was coming.
According to the Claiborne County Sheriff's Office. According to E! News, McCready shot herself and her dog. Ooh. Associated Press reports that her body was found around 4 p.m. Sunday afternoon at the front porch of her home in Heber Springs, Arkansas, after neighbors heard gunshots and called the police. McCready leaves behind 2 children, 6-year-old Xander and 9-month-old Zane. Her death comes just a little more than a month after the death of her boyfriend, songwriter David Wilson, age 34. Wilson's death is still under investigation. McCready's tragic death follows a recent commitment to rehab and her children being removed from her home. A petition filed by McCready's father this year revealed serious issues in the singer's life, including including alcohol and prescription drug abuse, as well as the erratic behavior. According to a report from E! who exclusively obtained the file, Tim McCready attested that his daughter has taken to her bed since the death of her boyfriend last month. Sleeps all day, he says, drinks all night, and takes prescription drugs. So,
Well, that's a big problem in this country now, prescription drugs. And everybody's doing it.
yeah.
Damn, I forgot to take my Lortabs. Just kidding.
Yeah, I know, but see, well, McCready seems to be in like a long line of some singers or celebrities that
the
go through a lot of
celebrity
stuff.
thing will do it to you. You know, high up on the ladder and then all of a sudden losing it all. And
Yeah. Yeah, like a lamb, but that's a
yeah,
that's
this
one.
is a picture that Saibuki sent me.
By the way, I agree. Gamer Girl is the
Robin.
first thing I thought about. That she's selfish. So now, in my opinion, according to Bible, she not only winds up in hell for killing herself, but she also has the added bonus of being a selfish bitch.
This picture
And
here,
I'm sorry to say, I don't mean to sound so callous here.
this is courtesy of Saibuki.
Mhm.
Oh,
This
Oh,
what the hell is
Saibuki
that?
I guess that's the lamb. That's what it usually look like when it's not being caught and stuff and mistaken for an alien. That's what it looks like. It's
Oh.
sucker
Looks like a flower.
head. Yeah. With
actually, I hate to
rows of
say what
teeth.
it looks like, but
All those rows of teeth.
that's weird.
It says home is in the North Atlantic and inland in Europe and North America. So yeah, so it's not an alien. So it's their habitat,
Yeah.
and it's in New Jersey. So New Jersey is a cold state. So its habitat is in cold water, seas, rivers, and lakes. So yeah, makes yeah.
Wow. Anyway, I agree, Saibuki. The same socially acceptable junkies look down their noses at illegal drug users. That's true.
Yeah, like you have to get it through the which really don't make any sense. Like, yeah, you guys are losers. You get that cocaine and stuff. I get addictions from my own pharmacy. Ha ha ha. You know, whatever.
Sorry, Gamer
Yeah,
Girl.
Brian's a pharmacy guy. He gets his own drugs. Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's
good friend to have.
a legalized drug dealer.
Yeah, he's a good friend to have.
Wow. Thanks, Sabuki says, why she shoot the dog, bitch?
It's
She
true.
really is.
She
She
really
really
wants-
is selfish.
No,
Yeah, why did she shoot the dog? That's what everybody
She
wants to
needs
know.
She
a
kept
dog.
the kids but killed the dog. That's just
Yeah.
wrong.
Well,
and
no.
people talk about Michael Vick's ass. They need to talk about her. God rest her soul.
No, well.
But
Oh, we got a phone call.
all
Yeah,
right.
Probably Bob Harris.
Hello. What's going on, nutcase?
Yeah, buddy. What's up, guys?
It's Anthony. How you doing, Anthony?
It's Anthony.
Yeah. The kids are out of school days, you know. I gotta stay home with them.
Put it by his.
I see. Hold on, let me. Yeah.
Get
Sit-
the
sit-
microphone.
sit-
Go ahead. Go ahead, Anthony.
Good morning, everybody. How's it going?
Doing quite well.
What are we
We're
talking
doing okay, despite you not
We're
showing
talking
up
about
again.
you.
We talked about you and also the outcome of the Making Film Festival. Had a record of 2,500 attendees and 87 film submissions that played during the four-day weekend. And also we talked about the suicide death of Mindy McCready, the country singer, troubled country singer.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, well, didn't we see something, though? I mean, she's been in and out of trouble for the past, 4 or 5 years.
Well, yeah.
I mean, she was on drugs and having problems with her husband or getting beat by her husband or boyfriend or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, boyfriend, I think.
Honestly.
Because I remember she actually had a stint on that TV show. What was that reality show, Dr. Drew's Rehab, where they actually had these celebrities that were on rehab, and I think that's like the last place you ever want to be. Last reality show you want to be on as a celebrity is basically getting on you on rehab. And
Right.
I remember there was one scene she was playing with some friends or something, and I think she actually had a seizure on one of the episodes. And Dennis Rodman had to call 911 to get the ambulance for her and stuff. That's kind of, I mean, looking back now, it just seems like it's all for nothing now since she killed herself.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Even her,
It can be a sad culture. I mean, that's the thing about that business is that some people can't handle it. You know, they can't handle it, and whatever other demons that already within their life before they got famous, I think, just carries over.
right.
So, I guess we have no news yet from the GBI, correct?
Well, at least not yet. They haven't given it out yet. But Ed did show a video of an interview that Kenny Burgundy from WMAZ was interviewing the mayor Robert Rickard about things going on in the city.
What did he say? what what was Rickard saying this time? Pissed Irvin off.
Well, basically the same thing as all the other news people here. We'll wait for the investigation to conclude, and then we'll say something about it.
Right.
Just another wait and see, a wait and see type of mentality.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We missed you, Irvin, at the little shindig.
Oh yeah, I know.
I'm just filling in for Andy. Filling in for Irv. He's getting a refill of coffee, but
Oh, yeah.
but I'm quite sure he probably maybe in the gist of that. But yeah,
Okay, well, Urach did come by and try to call him. I heard he went by and tried to pick him up, and I guess he said, yeah, they weren't there. He didn't answer the door.
Oh.
Yeah, so. All right, guys, well, I'll check back with you. I mean, I'm kind of out of the loop as far as what the news is for the day.
Oh, okay. What about you and Chuck? Did y'all get to see that movie, Beast of the Southern Wild last
No,
night?
we ended up not staying because I went ahead. Chuck wanted to leave, and I went ahead and took advantage of the ride home.
Mm-hmm.
He had his truck with him, and I just told him, I said, whenever you're ready to go, I'll go with you because I don't want to be stranded down here. And so basically, I threw the bike in the back of his truck, and we took the bike over to my mom's house, and then he drove right over here to the apartment.
Okay.
Night, give me a ride home, so that's where I am. So.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to hear. Here's, I guess, one question. I guess the rest of us are concerned. Will you be able to make it for tomorrow?
Yeah, I should, because everything's back to normal. They go back to school. I forgot that they were off today because of President's Day, or whatever the holiday is, and for the schools. I forgot they were off, and of course had to work, at 10. So you can't take them to work with them, and so just kind of hanging around here watching the kids, and she's getting ready. But yeah, it should be back to normal tomorrow.
Okay.
Be back on all four cylinders, so to speak.
Yes.
Hey,
All
Ann.
right, guys. Well, maybe I'll check back. I try to watch and listen to the show on this iPhone, but it never comes in for some reason. I don't know why. I can't ever get a connection. So.
Well, good, and you can't hear what we're saying about you then. And I'll edit it all out before I put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
But tell Irvin that.
Irvin's right here, man.
Actually, I wanted to ask you a question,
I
Ann.
tried to get you guys for that Saturday party, and he said y'all didn't answer the door, or he couldn't get you guys through the window.
He said he was trying to pick you up. Urach Wild was going to pick you
I've
up
been
Saturday.
gone since
Yeah,
Friday.
I know. And I was here. The thing was, I don't think Urach knew. He had to just kind of go around and bang on my bedroom wall, because
Yeah,
I'm
well,
not
not
hanging
everybody
around
knows
in this
that.
freezing house. I stay in one place, heating it up to the max, and even that doesn't work. But and the other thing was, honestly, as God is my witness, I'm not lying. I used to go a lot to the porch parties over at Dan Zook's, and for whatever reason, it was ingrained in my brain that it was on Sunday, not on Saturday. If not, I would have been attentive to Urach. But either way, it just turned out that I didn't get to go. But I heard it was great, and I heard you were there.
We had a good time there, and Chuck ended up going with me. I took Chuck with me. Irvin, our buddy from the Razzle. I ended up taking him with me. So.
Yeah, well, I missed out on everything.
Here, put it up to your ears so you can hear him. He's got a big enough mouth.
Yeah,
Those
I
people can hear him
missed out on everything.
In La La Land.
Oh, by the way, did you see the latest report with the mayor?
No, they just told me how he was on the MSZ this morning.
He was on MAZ talking about how everybody gets disciplined, blah, 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 but this is, kind of mingle with the idea he's going to run for the consolidated government and all this shit.
Right.
Unbelievable. This guy is just freaking believable. Well, I don't know how we're going to handle this. It comes out today.
Yeah, that's what we hear, and
Yeah.
And if I hear something, I'll call you guys.
And then we'll strategize from there.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, we're supposed to hear first anyway, because they're supposed to tell Sheriff Davis, you know, before they tell the media. So,
Right, right.
So we'll end up having to find a way over there to Cheryl's house when they want to announce it to her. So.
Okay, very good. Very good.
Well, Cheryl, I'll let you guys know. Tell him to keep his phone on, so if we need to get over to her house today, you know, he can come pick me up or something.
Okay, sounds good.
Well, yeah. All right, buddy. You have a good show. I'll
That-
try back later. I might call y'all again, and sorry about not being AWOL again, but I'll be back over there tomorrow.
Perfect. See you tomorrow.
All right. That
And
was,
that was Anthony.
yes, Morning Roast's own Anthony B. Harris, filmmaker, father extraordinaire. It's 8:57.
And it's going to be time for a break.
Extraordinary what? Extraordinaire.
Well, you know, just anyway, just for a minute. But anyway, if you want to give us a call, the number is 478-257-6287.
Or I suck goats.
Yes.
Very simple. Oh, by the way, I want to take this moment out.
Okay. All right, we've heard enough.
I want to take this moment. Was that last one you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty good, Ed.
Not bad, Ed.
By the way, I want to say something that we hardly ever say on the show. And first, I want to thank Ed for all the hard work that he puts in on helping us make this show great. He's never really given much credit. But without Ed, there'd be no frickin' show. That's the bottom line. So I want to take the time out to just say thank you, Ed.
Thank you.
You're a good guy, and we do love you, and we're grateful. He's up every morning, and this is a guy who normally doesn't like to get up in the morning.
I hate morning.
He hates morning.
Monday morning.
But this boy gets up.
Stand him.
We always pick on Ed, but let me tell you something. He's one of my best friends, and he really works hard, guys. I mean, even after the show, he's like looking for things to do and shit to put on the show, and he makes the show really interesting. So, yeah, you're right, here, Big Skillet Jackson. Ed freaking rocks. Go fuck yourself, he says.
What is that with you guys? He always says that. Go fuck yourself. You know the
He's
guy.
from Jersey, you know.
Oh, it's from Jersey.
He's
What
a Jersey
exit?
boy.
Jersey, yeah.
What exit?
And so I figured on that, we're gonna go to break.
Yeah, we're like 1 minute away from 9 o'clock. 1 down, 1 hour down, 2 more to go.
Yeah.
We're watching the.
Short.
Ed's
Yeah.
got some good music, local
Yeah,
bands.
that's Zavi.
We got some Zavi, a local artist
Oh,
here.
Zavi, great.
So hold on to your hats and get yourself refill some coffee. We'll be right back.
I've got some weed.
for
This
a second.
is kind of weed music.
We'll be right back on the Morning Roast.
7 minutes.
Very sad. You know, I thought she was going to kill herself because she had been going through so much shit.
Yeah, I can feel the heat from that one all over here.
justifies the sacrifice, evocation, ceaseless the dreams.
And we're back.
Yes, we are back. It's 9:06 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in Macon, Georgia. You're watching the Morning Roast on
Well,
our
from beautiful downtown, not downtown,
adjacent downtown.
Southside Macon, the Thunderdome.
From the Nut House. This is yours truly, Derek Vera, DB, with Irving Martinez just
I'm coming out.
coming back out.
He's having his coming out party.
The man's got to go. You got to go.
Yeah.
Oh.
And substituting for Anthony Harris right now is Macon's Ascarioke Ed Einbinder. Double E.
Hey,
Yes.
I got an idea. Hey, I know that there's an issue of copyright, but I'm not worried. She's dead now. Can we play a McCready song, or at least part of it?
Yeah, I could.
Just so the folks can hear
I'll find one.
what. Thank you, Ed. So Ed's gonna play a McCready song, so that we can all sit here and wonder why she would kill herself. But I listen. I don't want to make light of this, but the fact of the matter is that people who are so heavy on drugs, especially when they're using it to get high, there's some form of mental illness going on now. And so I don't want to make light of it. So, God bless her. But, why did she shoot the dog was probably some weird notion that she needed a dog to walk with her while she's on her way to, I guess, somewhere.
I got a call.
Oh, we got a phone call. Hello, Morning Roast. Anthony. What's going on, buddy?
I got something. I completely forgot to bring this up earlier. It just dawned on me again, and we can talk about this more on the show, but you guys can go with it right now if you want. And I'll post it on the Morning Roast Facebook page. This weekend, I was looking into these other cases online in the newspaper and stuff. These other cases of these cops, these bad cops.
Yeah.
The one stealing the tractors and the one that just, the two that just stole the guns. And I noticed a common denominator, which is a good topic for, I guess, tomorrow's show, is
Right.
And what I'm getting at is this. Sammy Davis Jr. was shot at that Kroger, the tractor. The two guys, Gidry and Watts, that stole the tractor. He stole a tractor from Ross Avenue. Ross Avenue is
Right by Kroger.
less than a mile from my mom's house and less than a mile from that Kroger. And then I just noticed in the paper this weekend that the two guys that stole the guns, the two cops that stole the
Yeah.
guns, one of those guns were taken from a house on Corbin Avenue. Corbin Avenue is parallel to Hillier Avenue. It's right around the corner from Hillcrest where my mom lives.
Wow.
I find it mighty strange that all these cops that are being arrested, the things, have all been operating within that less than a mile radius. And that includes Sutton shooting Sammy Davis Jr. So what I'm thinking now is we might have had like a group of cops. You guys remember the Dirty Harry sequel, Magnum Force?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you remember the group of rogue cops in there that he had to fight?
Yes.
You remember the villains in that one? David Soul played the main bad guy.
Yes.
It was the rogue cop. Remember, it was a group of cops within the department that were basically a criminal organization.
Right.
I'm beginning to think there might be something with that in the case of these cops being arrested lately within that area.
You know what? I think it has to do with what we talked about, which we still haven't talked about. We'll leave that when you're here tomorrow. But if you remember the woman, which by the way, just as an afterthought here, that woman was sent by, guess who? By Chief Burns.
Yeah, I saw that in the article.
Yeah, Chief Burns is the one that had that shit happen. So, of course, that makes me lose a lot of hope and faith.
Right.
But you never know. But hopefully she may go back to Chief Burns and tell him what we talked about. But
Right. Yeah, but guys, I mean, get that out over the show today if y'all want. Talk more about that kind of subculture within that police culture.
no, I'd rather that when you arrive, because you're more proficient with some of the details. I don't want to take this subject and just. Yeah, I'd rather that you're here. But I will say this: if you remember that Al Tillman, which by the way lost his show, just want to let you know that.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he put it up there. He lost his show. They stopped his show. But when Al said there's a process that you go to where you complain and all this shit, I think these rogue cops hang around these areas,
Right.
and because they know that no one's going to go and report them. They know it's not like North Macon, where you got people with money and won't allow themselves to be abused that way. But a lot of these neighborhoods and these kids, they're never going to go and complain against the police, because it would take them to go down to the precinct, go down and get involved with the police department, which they do not want to do. No one's going to, especially with history or anything to that effect, these kids stay away from police departments. And so even if they're slapped around and beaten and all this shit, the cops are going to get away with it, because not one of those people will ever take the time out and file a report, because they don't even want to go near that freaking place. Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's kind of like a vicious cycle. Nobody ever complains, and then everybody says, well, they're not complaining, so why aren't they reporting it? It's simple arithmetic. These guys are not going to do it. No one's going to go to the police department and file a complaint, because they themselves may have some history, and they just, believe me, these people want to stay away from the cops. So why would they put themselves down and try to, try to file a report against a police officer, which, by the way, in reality, is not going to produce anything anyway.
Right. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's good
All right, let's
whatever
get him
that
off the phone. We'll get back to this
I'm
show.
really beginning to think there's something
Yeah.
Right, precinct 3 is right next to that Kroger, which is then right next to Ross Avenue, where the tractors were stolen, which is then right next to Cortland Avenue, which is right off of Hillcrest, where my mom lives.
Well, I think we ought to bring that up to the press when we.
I am. I want to post it on the Facebook page right now. As soon as I get off the phone with you, I'm going to post it on the Morning Rose page.
Good.
And
And on the Junebug page.
yeah, that too. And I didn't tell you guys this at the film festival yesterday.
Yeah.
The lady Jasmine from 41 NBC. I didn't see the footage, so I don't know if it aired. She called me earlier in the day, yesterday, before I got downtown for the film festival, and wanted to interview me, talk to me about the meeting. You know, it got up to them, of course, through the paper. You know.
Did you do that?
Well, I met with her. Of course, I didn't tell her everything. I wasn't going to tell her everything because some of it I wanted to keep to ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, basically, I mean, word got out. Word got out through somebody. I don't know if Tillman did it or whoever. Word got out that we had a meeting at Cheryl's house, you know, that day. And if you guys look back on Macon.com, I don't know if you read the weekend paper. There's 2 articles about it. I'm quoted in both articles.
Good.
Basically, the lady Jasmine from 41, she wanted to meet with me yesterday, just asked me a few questions about the meeting we all had with the lady from the GBI, or the Justice Department.
So in a gist, what'd you tell her?
Well, you know, she sat there talking to me right outside on the corner of 2nd Street and Cherry, and basically she tried to get some information. Some of it I gave her, some I didn't. You know, I didn't tell her. You know, you guys can figure out what I didn't tell her. I'm not going to say it over the air.
Right, right.
Basically, she asked me, she said, she asked, as it was reported in the paper, because Lauren Benedict, let me go back, Lauren Benedict in the article, if you look at the article from Friday, there's the Friday paper and the Saturday paper that articles about it. Lauren Benedict apparently gave her my number. She went to Benedict first. Benedict said she was invited by Harris, and then this lady from 41 calls me. It was the same lady that was out at our first rally, Jasmine. And anyway, so she calls me and wanted to know, what we did at the meeting, what was said. And again, I nitpicked. I told her some stuff that was said and not all of it. She asked me to name off people that were at the meeting, everybody that was there. So I gave her the list. I named all of us that were there. And she got a few questions like that. Is basically, and again, I don't have TV access, so I don't know if it aired on the news last night. I don't know if Ed pulled it up on 41 or whatever website, but I have no clue what parts she used of what I said. But yeah, I mean, they know it's coming close to the,
Tell them we're gonna get back to the show. We're gonna get back to the show, dude.
All right, dude. Well, hopefully we'll talk more about this tomorrow. But thank you for the update.
Yeah, take care.
All right, buddy.
Okay.
There you go.
Damn windbag.
So he,
Damn, what a
he
windbag.
was
Well,
interviewed.
yeah. The gamer girl says, "Aunt, hang up. I don't want to. It must be Mondays. I don't want to."
Say Buki said it.
I
He's
wanna
the only
look at
one
this
that can
scary
break
picture
the
anymore,
subject
but I'm
longer
fine.
than the original content. God, what was he talking about? I forgot. It went so long.
Well, he was talking to one of the journalists.
I know.
He knows.
Okay. Well, just wanted to.
He's such a windbag. Lord. Come on. Did I ever tell you the story about when I was younger?
Welcome, Coffee Guy. This is his brother.
Yeah, his brother.
So-
I feel sorry for you, bro. that brother, the bald-headed brother you got. Man.
Aye. Well, we love Ant and we miss him.
You know, they say you can pick your nose and you can pick your friend, but you can't pick your friend's nose, and you can't
Whatever
pick
that
your
means.
family.
Anyway, I'm glad that this story is not going to just fly by like everything else around here. I think this story is going to stick.
Okay.
Continue to
Exactly.
stick.
We're gonna talk about it tomorrow, but we got to get to the news here.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
meteor
you're right.
that crashed into Earth in
You
Russia.
got some news there? Because I may
Yeah,
have.
we got a meteor that crashed.
Oh,
last
yeah.
week.
Mhm.
If you guys
Actually,
even
that media
watch the
shit's got me a
news.
little depressed here.
Oh,
I
yeah.
realize how fragile.
Fragile.
Where, as you were saying, how fragile what?
How fragile.
People or
you
the
just
earth?
said, I can't imagine how fragile. And that was it. You just stopped right there.
Oh, I'm sorry. How fragile life is.
All right. Yeah, we had that meteor. I'm sure you all heard crash in Russia.
Yes.
We also had an
In Mother
asteroid.
Russia.
We had
Yes.
an asteroid that passed by the Earth the other day.
Says the number of people injured by the blast above the mountain range soared to nearly 1,000 people, according to the Associated Press in Russia. The crash felt in Chelyabinsk, Tyumen, and Severodonetsk, and everywhere elsewhere resembled an earthquake. Business report. Hey, I'm not Russian. She sue me. And
What's your lawyer's number?
okay. There were conflicting reports. The Interfax news agency described the event as a meteor shower. A spokeswoman for Russia's emergency ministry told the AP. But the Interfax news agency described the incident as a single meteorite. It says it was definitely not a plane, an emergency official told Reuters. We are gathering bits of information and have no data on the casualties so far. RT quotes witnesses who say the blast, an unusual spectacle overhead, had some residents fearing a UFO. Says that my windows were not smashed, but I first thought that my house is being dismantled. Then I thought it was a UFO, and my eventual thought was an earthquake. Bakriva Olga wrote in Twitter, according to the news site.
All right, we're ready for the video. I've been waiting to do this video.
Wow.
That's what I've been. I was getting to the video when you just started reading the story.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
That's
go.
the whole reason why I brought it up.
Okay.
I was leading into the video and you stole my story.
Oh, my bad. Well, I didn't say the whole thing.
Bad as Anthony.
It's all good.
I'm just kidding.
Uh,
All right, here we go.
you got the video? No, not yet.
It's either
Let
that
us
or I'll
know.
make you watch the hippo fart.
What?
You want that or you want to watch the hippo fart?
Let's play the video.
Okay.
Surprise.
Anderson Cooper 360, weeknights at 8 and 10 on CNN.
The images look like something out of a movie. A tiny asteroid tearing through space at a speed of 33,000 miles per hour before streaking across southern Russia. Cameras caught sight of the white trail as it headed across the sky. And then this. An explosion of light, then a massive sonic boom. Strong enough to shatter windows and damage buildings. There were reports of more than 1,000 people injured, mostly from glass and debris. This video shows a children's judo class. Windows blew out here and in buildings around the region. Some people said they thought it might have been a plane crash. This is the aftermath of the blast in a high school. A 17-year-old student put this video on YouTube, showing the reaction in his physics class. Students screamed and ran into the hallways. He said some in the class thought war had started. Some of the incredible images were caught on cameras placed inside Russian cars. Many drivers now record their journeys in case of crashes or run-ins with police. Shock and gasps at the blinding light, the boom, and all the shattered glass.
Asteroid. Реально.
Jim Bolton, CNN, London.
Wow.
Some serious destruction there just from one big meteorite.
I'll tell you. And it's
Yeah.
funny how it happened while the other meteorite just missed us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the video for that too. You want to see that?
Okay. Is that the one in San Francisco? Because that's what Air Big. Well, there was another one that landed in
Talking
San
about the
Francisco.
one that went past the other night.
Oh.
By
Okay.
us.
Okay.
We are 50 seconds away, 49. The clock is counting down, and at that point, in just a few seconds, that is the closest point that DA-14 will be to our planet.
To our planet in centuries, probably, as far as we know. So it's a remarkable moment as it passes by, and then it will be headed out.
And watching the counter on the left, the distance to Earth.
Yes, it's going to go through about 17,200 some miles. That's as close as it will get, and then it will start heading out.
And that's at the point where folks in Europe and then finally North America, as it's heading out, is about the time that we'll be able to see it.
Yes, it's going from the far south. Now it's over the equator, and it will be heading straight north and going essentially near the North Pole. So now we will have the polars in the sky, and we'll have a chance to see it from the northern hemisphere now.
All right. The counter is 0. It has passed closest approach, and this asteroid is going away.
Wow, incredible.
Anyway, I was watching it. On a live stream.
Live stream video.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there, and they're saying, "Oh, it's about a minute away," and then all of a sudden, as it passed us, I guess. It's a good guess.
We
they
are
said, "Well,
50
it's now
seconds away,
over."
49. The clock is counting down, and
That's it.
Yeah, Pink Unicorn, I agree. One of these days we're going to be wiped out. And here's the thing, this really brings things into some kind of a perspective. Okay, and I don't know if it all plays a role in all this, but it's just a weird time right now. We have meteors showering the earth. We have a pope that decides to leave his job.
Well, you know what bad is, right? You didn't follow that. You were sleeping all weekend because of he felt guilty because he didn't report all those pedophile preachers.
You think so?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He felt
Same thing.
That's why he
Joe
wants to
Paterno.
devote his life to prayer.
Mm-hmm.
And they're giving him a nice
asylum
chalet,
in the
by the way.
Vatican. He's seeking asylum in the Vatican.
Yeah.
From prosecution.
Really?
Yeah, you've been sleeping all weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard about it. There was supposed to be some type of documentary about that coming up sometime later this year about the about those scandals, those altar boys and being molested by all these priests, and the Pope didn't he didn't jump on the gun quick on it.
Let it happen.
Well,
I mean that same almost like similar to with
silence is violence.
Yeah, kind of same thing with Sandusky and Joe Paterno in Penn State. Wow.
Well, I mean, look, this Pope, first of all, I don't think he wanted the job because it was mentioned somewhere, and I'm trying to remember. I don't know whether he was the one that said it, but I know that it was said that he was praying that he wouldn't get the job, and then all of a sudden he did, and that he wasn't too happy that he took it on because I guess he had to, it was his calling, but he always felt that he was better off being in the background as opposed to being the main guy.
Right.
Yeah, and so I don't think he ever wanted to be Pope. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
And he took it on as almost like, see, and even in the Bible it says, I desire mercy, not sacrifice. Nobody has to sacrifice anything for God. You know, this is all about, you know, loving people and accepting them how they are and all that. Not about a job, or if it becomes a job, it's not a good thing.
Well, that's true, because when you're doing something like that, especially like, you know, something working with, you know, like some type of religious, you can't treat it like a job. It has to be a calling, because anybody can get fired from a job. Anybody, you can get, you know, you can get a 401k from a job. You gotta, you know, you have to do it with your heart, not with your wallet, so to speak. But speaking of that, it kind of reminded me of the movie that was on Lifetime Saturday night that I was an extra in 5-6 years ago. There was this movie called Pastor Brown that made its debut, world premiere on Lifetime television Saturday night at 8 p.m. It was filmed in Atlanta, and I was one of the
that was the one that you were in.
Yeah, I was one of the congregation people, but you have to see it really early in the beginning, because if you blink, you might miss me. I'm just wearing like this gray suit.
So what are you doing, sitting there fidgeting? Or?
Well, I was just, it was like, well, in the movie, not to give it away, where the pastor has a heart attack. Right, and, you know, and they had to call the paramedics, and people were like, what's going on? Like, what was it? You know, and then you see. And, you know, basically, it kind of reminds me of this story. You know, where like the Pope said he didn't want to be Pope, and it's kind of like seems like a prodigal son type of story, or more like actually the prodigal daughter, because in the story, Pastor Brown says, you know, I'm not going to be able to do this, you know, preaching thing. I'm going to have to find a successor. So he has to choose between, you know, maybe this one guy who's been doing the preaching all this long, been for the past 5-6 years, or
his daughter,
who who strips.
Yeah.
So you can pretty much see.
So who plays the daughter?
This actress by the name of Sally Richardson Whitfield. Very beautiful woman. Very beautiful woman. If you ever seen her,
So they got an old man and they then put into this hot looking woman.
yeah, daughter, and they also have the preacher Pastor Brown is played by Keith David. You've probably seen him. He's been in a lot of good movies. He was in the Princess and the Frog Disney movie. He does the voiceover commercials for the U.S. Navy. He done stuff in Platoon, and also he probably best known playing Cameron Diaz's stepdad in There's Something About Mary, the black stepdad. He's a very funny guy. Very funny guy.
By the way,
Great.
Saibuka, you're right. The priesthood is a vocation, not a job.
Exactly.
Well, obviously this Pope saw it more like a job. Because the fact of the matter is that he resigned. Which means in his mind it was always a job. I mean, there are some people that say, well, he should have stood out to death. I don't agree with that. However, what I disagree with is the idea that here's a Pope, takes on the job. I guess they chose him. But he had 8 years to decide what to do. He could have said, look, I can't do this. It's just too much. And I don't know. I just have all these thoughts about it. Like, to him, it was always a job. Just like I said, most of these popes are picked. Most of them are honored by it. This Pope, I always felt from day one, he doesn't want this job. And like I said, it was reported somewhere where he was quoted as saying that he was praying that he wouldn't get the job, but he got the job anyway. So, I don't know. You thought he wanted it? No. He campaigned for it? No, they're not even allowed to campaign for it. That's one of the rules of the game. You cannot campaign for the job of Pope. It's supposed to come out of after the smoke, the puff of smoke bullshit that they have.
Yeah, that's how it was. I was speaking of like the meteors and stuff falling down from the earth, falling down from space back down to the earth. I was asking back, Urek in the chat, did anyone remember back when people get scared when Skylab fell out from the sky back in '78?
Yeah.
And Gamer Girl says I wasn't born yet, but Urek Wildcat, he remembers it. Yeah, because he was saying he read in the front page of the newspaper. They had it in Macon Telegraph. I didn't see it in the paper. I remember hearing it on CBS Evening News with Walter Cronkite and ABC News, Frank Reynolds, all these other people, Peter Jennings talking about it. It was really scary. Yeah, it was. Those who don't know or didn't know about it, it was basically a great big space science lab, and it just went kaput, and it fell. It fell out of orbit, and then it just fell down to Earth, and luckily it broke into several pieces until it finally hit the Earth. Actually, it didn't. Well, it did hit Earth, but luckily it fell in water. It fell into the Indian Ocean. So I think the biggest piece of Skylab was like no bigger than this table right here, I think. So that was a scary thing because we were afraid we were going to be playing football or some baseball or something like that, and we were playing, and all of a sudden the big chunk of Skylab going to fall in the middle of the field.
The sky is falling!
By the way, Brass Monkey, you're right. Meteors hit Earth every year. As a matter of fact, that guy that was that's married to that woman that was shot in the head.
Oscar Pistorius?
No, the guy that was the astronaut.
The astronaut.
Whatever. That astronaut is married to Giffords.
Oh, okay, Giffords. Okay.
I can't remember his name. If somebody remembers, put him up. He was on the news lately, like 2 days ago, and he talked about how when he was up there, he saw all these meteors, hitting the Earth. And he said that there was moments where he would sit there looking out that little porthole that they have and said, wow, this is pretty scary. In other words, even he realized how fragile and how possible it is for the Earth to get hit with another big-ass meteor.
Yeah.
By the way, they said it was like 50 50 nuclear bombs.
Wow.
Like 50.
Yeah.
And I thought, is that all it does? I'm sorry. Is that all it does? It levels what? How many miles? I thought a 50 nuclear bomb would probably blow a piece of the earth off.
I mean, megaton. Megaton. 50 megaton bomb.
Wow.
Oh, is that right, Sabuki? The moon soaks up most of the big stuff.
So that's why it would explain why it has a whole lot of craters, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Like a crater face. The one thing that drives me crazy is how come whenever you see pictures of space, you never see the stars in the background. That's true. Wildcat says, I find me some kryptonite around there someplace.
Wow. Incredible.
Well, moving on with the news stories.
Huh?
Oh, yeah.
We got a good one.
Good.
Oh,
got another
yeah.
video, guys.
We got about a man that was charged with slapping target on the Delta flight loses his job. That's what you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. Yes. You have a video for that, or you want me to just go ahead and...
Oh, I can play that video.
Okay.
Oh, not yet.
No, I thought you were going to read the story. But
Well,
I
I'll
want to do the video and read the story. You know, because you're defeating the purpose. You know.
Yeah, I get the story. I mean, I'll just give the preface of it.
There you
The story highlights, well, basically, there was this man who was charged with assault after allegedly slapping a 2-year-old boy on a flight. He was charged with last week with federal court with simple assault and faces a maximum of a year in prison. So if you have that, I'll go ahead and let you go ahead and roll the video. And right now it's 9:36 a.m. in Macon, Georgia. It's 34 degrees right now. It's starting to warm up just a little bit, just a tad.
Just a tad. I don't feel it.
Well, I'm waiting for the website to come up.
Yeah, Sabuki asked, what was the kid doing? He's probably being rowdy.
Well, the kid was just, according to the story, it looked like he was just crying because it was a well...
The professionals there at the
Here we go.
We got a commercial. Hold on. We got to wait for the commercial.
Well, according to the story, it was just, you know...
We're getting rid of the
fine.
commercial.
Well, he's barely 19 months old. Barely 2 years old. He's not 2 years old yet, but 19 months, so, you know, got another...
Twinkle, twinkle.
Jonah Bennett is a smart and smiley 19-month-old.
Because,
But it's what happened on a Delta flight that has Jonah's parents doing anything but smile.
he hit a child. And that, he said what he said. And that it's disgusting.
Jessica Bennett and her son were flying to Atlanta and sat next to this man, 60-year-old Joe Huntley of Idaho.
He was just being rude and belligerent, and I just felt very uncomfortable.
She says Huntley reeked of alcohol and continued to drink on board. But as the plane began to descend, Jonah got fussy, and the already uncomfortable flight got even worse.
I was having trouble comforting him, and that's when the guy had made his comment to me.
As court documents state, this is when Huntley allegedly told Jessica to, quote, shut that N-word baby up. But it didn't end there. Huntley used the racial slur a second time, and then allegedly slapped Jonah, hitting him in the eye.
I could not believe that he would say something like that and to a baby, or about a baby, and then to hit him was just, I felt like I was in another world. I was shaking.
Jessica says other passengers eventually came to her aid, and the two were given a new seat. But while Jonah is back to being a curious toddler, his parents call Hanley's actions heinous and hateful and want something to be done.
All the evidence is sufficient enough to support what we're saying, and you know, I think that we hope he's punished as much as he possibly can be.
It's an experience the Bennetts never want to go through again, but one this family will think about the next time they fly.
I think I'll just be replaying it the whole time. Very traumatic.
60-year-old Joe Huntley of Idaho is facing federal charges of assault. He was the president of an Idaho aircraft parts company called Unitech. Today, officials with Unitech's parent company, Telcare 11, Huntley, has been terminated. The company released this statement today saying, quote, reports of the recent behavior of one of our business executives while on personal travel are offensive and disturbing. Huntley's facing up to a year in jail. His attorney says he plans to plead not guilty.
Wow.
What an asshole.
Yeah. 19 slaps a 19-month-old child that he doesn't even know. I mean,
and then calls him and the N-word.
Yeah. Yeah. Now a lot of people, because even despite his light complexion, people just that's bigotry. They hate on a curve. And that it's just cold blood. I mean, you want to just. I mean, that's why I'm kind of worried of whether or not. I'm just glad I'm not a father per se, because if I would have had children, he would have said that, man, I'll just.
Yeah, he would have went out one of the windows.
Yeah. He would
screw the whole freaking plane.
Yeah, he would have woke up in an ambulance. I would just turn into Chuck D. Try to reach and grab and get elbowed. Just bam.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. He says you should see. I'll cut it short. You should hear some of the stupid things people do on airplanes. Yeah, I hate flying, by the way. I mean, there are some things that I just hate. Mm-hmm. Flying is one of them.
Wow.
And now, I would never go on a cruise.
Jeez.
I've never been on a cruise.
I wouldn't go on a cruise either now.
Yeah, that's very true.
Thank you, gamer girl.
Yeah, I was just reading what Sabuki said. What's the kid doing? That's a toddler, not a little kid. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Pink Unicorn says, I hope that guy goes to jail. Oh, it says that old drunk twat needs a slap.
Yeah.
Jeez. And Gamer Girl says, OMFG. That guy should have been shot for hitting that baby. I lose more and more hope for the human race every day. And Three Bears says, wow, it takes all kinds in this world.
Well, a Harlem Shake, probably no better than a date shake.
Pink Unicorn.
By the way, only because it crossed my mind, and you know how I like to speak my mind, regardless of whether it makes sense or not.
Okay.
I looked at the father and I looked at the mother.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the kid. The kid does kind of look black, right?
Yeah, he was adopted.
Oh, he was adopted. Okay.
Ah, no.
See,
it was
that
the
part I missed
mailman.
out. That part I missed out.
It was the mailman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, it was adopted because the woman had like a baby. He was a light complexion, little baby boy.
Yeah, he was cute. Mm-hmm. Why would you slap a little kid like that? He's so adorable. Cause that freaking old man, and he's only getting a year in jail.
Just 1 year.
I think he should get a year for every slap he gave that kid.
Well, he did give him one, right? I think one. He slapped him once. That is kind of sad, though. That's just sad because people still have that same mentality in 2013. Why you just shut that big rebate? Like, come, hey. First of all, it's not your child. Oh, thanks. Thank you, Blog TV, for featuring us.
We didn't feature.
You're right, Sabuki. Even adorable kids crying will drive you nuts. But remember, the kid.
He's 19 months old. He's not even.
And he's on a plane, and the stress of that alone must have been freaking him out.
Well, the pressure was the air pressure.
Yeah.
Equalizing his ears.
Yeah, probably made his ear pop. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, that's the reason why I really can't fly, because when I do fly, I'm in absolute excruciating pain all the way down because of my hearing losses and all that. So I sit in a plane flying, and for all the time that we're flying, my ears are killing me. Mm-hmm. So by the time I get to where I'm going, I'm telling you, my ears are just so shot that it's just very painful for me to fly.
Yeah. I've only been on a plane at least maybe, I don't know, probably twice or 3 times or something like that. I think the first time I was like 2 when I went to visit my aunt's place, Aunt Louise, Uncle Matthew's place back in Detroit when they used to live in Detroit. Because my uncle used to work, in the post office, and my aunt at that particular time used to work at GM. She used to work at the factory, and work in a building Cadillacs. So if anyone got a Cadillac between 1963 and 1979, she probably was, she probably
your father's fingerprints on. Oh,
yeah, my mother's sister,
okay.
older sister. Yeah, she's
and
the
what
one.
did she do?
She used to work on the assembly line,
okay.
assembling, Cadillacs. You know,
We had a 63 Fleetwood broke down in the desert out in Arizona one night about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Ooh.
Is that her fault?
Well, I wasn't there.
Yeah.
But anyway,
No, we really did. It broke down. Damn desert, it's cold.
Well,
Three Bears has got a good solution. When I took my 1-year-old on a plane, I had to have a bottle in her mouth while takeoff and landing. It worked.
Oh yeah, well back when I was living the real American dream,
Yeah.
I actually had a family with kids and all that stuff. You know, before 2008, when everything changed in the economy, we were taking off and everything was fine. We were coming in for a landing, and my kids started screaming, "We're gonna crash! We're gonna crash!
Oh my God.
We're gonna crash!"
Who said that? A
My
passenger?
kid, my kid.
Oh.
oh,
I was
jeez.
freaking out. Give us more Benadryl, damn it!
Yeah, Ear Big Skill likes your he likes your laptop. Says what? How big is the screen? 17 and
17 inches.
17 inches.
A
Yeah.
big 17-inch.
Yes.
That's. Could you imagine that? That's
Wow.
funny. That's a funny story, Ed.
Mm-hmm.
But I will tell you, Benadryl, yup, mommy's little helper. That's right, as long as they don't barf it up.
Thank you for reminding me. I gotta go out and get some Benadryl.
The Benadryl knocks them out. Just make sure when you're doing like Tylenol and stuff, make sure you're using, child Tylenol. Don't give your kids adult Tylenol.
Well, they'll just knock
Right.
them out.
Kills them.
Oh, well, yeah. I'm quite sure of that. Yeah, that's too much dosage. Sabuki says even adorable kids crying will drive you nuts, sir. And DS
That's true.
says that kid may have started just saying, "What? Come on." I mean, DS, I know kids are not exactly perfect, but come on, how many babies you know would actually start a fight with a grown freaking man? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That's not bottle.
See,
Well,
it's
I
like-
wish he would have had the ability to do that. Slap that old man in the face. Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad he's
Punch
been
him
arrested.
right. Yeah, that's very true. I mean, even still, even it still doesn't. I mean, I know kids get on you. That still doesn't give you a reason to slap them. I mean, yeesh. Especially even give them a racial slur at that. That's even worse. That's probably going to sting more than the freaking slap. To be honest.
Looks like he's going to be missing the Klan meetings.
Yeah.
Who's Bebe?
Oh, Bebe's kids would. Oh yeah, Bebe's kid would slap that guy back. Yeah.
Who's Bebe?
That's the punchline. Late comedian Robin Harris talking about, do Bebe's kids, we don't die, we multiply.
It's a Derek thing. It's a Derek
Yeah,
thing.
this early 90s.
Derek
Early 90s.
That's way beyond me.
Like we got an Anthony thing, we got a Derek thing, we got an Herb thing.
So the gamer goes, it would have been better a story of the kid slapping back.
Yeah.
That was
Be like that.
What's up, Kai?
Yeah,
Hopefully
that
you're
kid
not.
with Chucky. That Chucky
Welcome
with
to our
Pokemon.
show. Hopefully
Or
you're
that
not a
little
troll.
kid that slapped that grown dude, had him try to take his Doritos.
Don't check out my mom and don't check out my Doritos.
Yeah.
Anyway, I really feel good about where we're at with the show today. It's already 9:48,
And Anthony's not here.
and
it'll probably do
Anthony's
pretty good.
not
Every
here.
time he's not here, no.
Well,
But it's kind of funny when talking about that story. When Ed, you gave me that story. Actually, Rosalind Nicole gave me the story around Friday afternoon. And I said, I've heard of it. I was like, oh gosh, I may have to talk about this Monday. And I'm glad we did. I'm glad I saved it. Well, saved both versions for that matter. I was just reading what the comments have said about this guy.
Go ahead,
It
read
says, Tabby K says, what a turd.
Yeah.
By all reports, the child was fine until the descent when the air pressure changes started to mess with his ears. See, that's that thing, that air pressure. It's too bad for this loser. Several passengers saw and heard the exchange and are backing up the mother's story. If I was out in the store with my young child and called him a derogatory name while slapping him across the face, I would have been reported to the police and child services. Possibly lose custody of my child, face charges, and yes, it's possible I would do jail time. He should spend some time behind bars, especially since he's been arrested for assault in the past. Wow. And said they should have skipped the landing and just threw him out the window right
I
then and
know.
there.
Yeah,
Jeez.
that's what I said.
It says was it peed on, not peed off, not on. It says alcohol can't fix stupid. Sure, it can make it stupid though.
Oh
stupid.
yeah.
And
I know.
Yeah. Old Army Soldier says that is up to the judge. He was told out of line. Just because he's drunk does not excuse anything.
Absolutely.
It says Steve Soprano on the boss says he's lucky the kid's father wasn't on board. He would have gotten his butt kicked.
Hey, check this out. Urak sent me this one. Was that Urak? Yeah, Urak sent me this one. Authorities charge a former Northwest Airlines flight attendant with assault for allegedly putting a prescription depressant, Xanax, in a 19-month-old girl's apple juice to stop her crying during an international flight.
Wow.
Can you believe that? People, unbelievable.
That one deserves that.
Yes, sir. Dun, dun, dun.
That's weird. I mean, how did they get away with this shit?
They get away with it till they don't get caught.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the thing. These cops and all that. How
It's
much
just
did they
like,
do? How much did they do that they're not going to get caught?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, it's like when you're doing a lot. You know, hey, you got $20 billion. Well, let's give up the $10,000. You know, here, we'll keep the $20 billion. We'll keep the big shit here. We'll give up the little shit. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way people are. You know, they cut their losses.
But speaking of
go.
more of other bigots acting foolish, there's a hospital being sued for bending to swastika tatted dad's no blacks demand.
Slow that slow so they can understand, because I didn't even understand what you're saying.
Hospital sued for bending to swastika tatted dad's no blacks demand. Tanya Battle was shocked, offended, and in disbelief, quote unquote, when her supervisors at Hurley Medical Center informed her that she couldn't care for a baby in the neonatal ICU because she is African American. Tanya Battle is a nurse, by the way. And now she has slapped a racial discrimination lawsuit on the Flint, Michigan hospital after it acquiesced to a father who flashed his swastika tattoo to get across his demand for white-only personnel. A supervisor also posted a no African American nurse note on the baby's chart, an act even the hospital's lawyer advised later was improper, though the order stood. Battle, who has worked at the hospital for 25 years, is seeking unspecified damages.
Wow, what do you think of that one? Boy.
That is a wing-dang-dinger. I'll tell you.
Wing-ding-dang-dinger doodle dot.
Yes. Somebody had comments about this story. It says the hospital should have told a man to take his business, his child, and his mother to another hospital. And
the world is filled with assholes.
Yeah. And they all stink, too.
Yeah. I like that.
Well, yeah, I got a video to leave us at the break that moves right up that alley. So.
Wow. Okay. Well, and Top Mom says if the couple wanted specific care for the child, quote unquote, they should have had paid for a private facility. Furthermore, I feel sorry for the baby. It has idiot parents that comprise its health due to their pathetic views. And then Stanley McNeil says, should have told her that this is not a racist hospital and we don't practice that hate here, and the supervisor who granted his wishes should be fired. Well, possibly true. I mean, you've heard of the story of Dr. Charles Drew, haven't you? Dr. Charles Drew. Well, he was this famous black doctor who discovered blood plasma
many years
ago, and saved a lot of lives in World War II. And for some strange reasons, he died from
lack of blood plasma.
Well, ironically, yes.
Get out of here.
Yeah, from wounds from a car accident, right? And they wouldn't let the particular hospital where he was from would not care to his duties because he was a black man. They didn't have any black nurses at that time.
That shit.
Yeah. And if you ever looked at a picture of this guy, I mean,
he's like a white guy.
Yeah, I know. People talk about, President Obama, he's half black, blah, but he's not really black or black. I mean, this guy, Charles Drew, he makes doggone, President Obama look like, Marcus Garvey. I mean, for really. Because he's really, if you take the glasses off of him, if you put glasses on Dr. Charles Drew, he looks just like George from Seinfeld. Remember? The guy, the short, bald guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, look, check that. If you got the picture from him.
I know. You gotta get to send this to me. Like, expect me to whip it right up as soon as you send it to me. I gotta go through all this process. So keep talking.
But anyway, I'll have
I'm not a magician. I'm a technician.
I'll just go ahead and give a quick version of the bios. Dr. Charles Richard Drew. He was born June 3rd, 1904. Died April 1st, 1950. Was an African American physician, surgeon, and medical researcher. He researched in the field of blood transfusions, developing improved techniques for blood storage, and applied his expert knowledge to developing large-scale blood banks early in World War II. This allowed medics to save thousands of lives of the Allied forces. The source is from Wikipedia, but assuming that is completely accurate. The research and development aspect of his blood storage work is disputed. As the most prominent African American in the field, Drew protested against the practice of racial segregation in the donation of blood, as it lacks scientific foundation and action, which cost him his job. In 1943, Drew's distinction in his profession was recognized when he became the first black surgeon selected to serve as an examiner of the American Board of Surgery. And his death is, the night of for the 1957 Tuskegee Clinic, Drew and 3 other black physicians decided to drive instead of flying to Tuskegee, and Drew was driving around 8 a.m. on April 1st, still fatigued from spending the night before in the operating theater. He lost control of his vehicle after careening into a field. The car somersaulted 3 times. The 3 other physicians suffered minor injuries. Drew was trapped with serious wounds. His foot had become wedged underneath the brake pedal. When he reached emergency technicians, Drew was in shock and barely alive due to severe leg injuries. Drew was taken to Al Mounts General Hospital in Burlington, North Carolina. He was pronounced dead a half hour later after he first received medical attention. And according to the story, he was refused because the hospital where he was supposed to go to didn't have any black nurses, attendees at that time. So he basically had to drive from Alabama to North Carolina to get where he basically died on arrival. Obviously, that's one hell of a drive.
Alrighty then.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty.
Okay, moving almost into our next break here, our last break.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're taking a break. Why don't we start this out early?
Yeah, because I had a video. It's going to be a morning roast exclusive.
Okay.
Okay.
Some of these viewers out here, this will probably be the first, maybe the only time you will ever witness this. Freak of nature.
Okay.
Live footage from the zoo.
Okay.
What the hell?
Big old hippo. The late
Minnie McCready. And the second song was Chelsea Bellner, a young girl. I was actually promoting her. She's from Loganville, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
I met her locally while doing one of my shows, and she ended up getting out of the music business. But as you can tell, she's pretty good. So
very good.
And we are back. Minus Irv now.
Yes, he had to take a pit stop. It's going on 10:06 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in Macon, Georgia. It's 34 degrees outside with a high of 61 and a low of 42. We're now 2 down and 1 to go. We're into the third and final hour of the morning roast. We're down to the home stretch. This is yours truly, DB, with Ed Einbinder making karaoke. And we were getting into going to the chat room. We were talking about the song that Minnie McCready that you were playing. And there were people, and I guess a lot of people were talking about that hippo too, about that hippo with the loose stools.
That was quick.
Yeah. And the Fisher Gamer Girl was talking about Minnie McCready's song. Says, "I'm a selfish bitch that killed my dog and left my kid."
Yeah.
And I said, ouch, girl, ouch, Tog. She's not even buried yet. And she says, she's an asshole, Derek, from the perspective of a mother. How can you leave your children? I mean, it's your choice if you want to take your own life. But if you're a mother, a parent, I guess, you no longer have that option. You have children to take care of. She left behind a 9-month-old and a 6-year-old. When you're a mother, your life is no longer your own. That's very true. That's very true. I mean, in many cases around the world, suicide is considered taboo. I know especially taboo, and I can definitely say it's taboo in the African American community because say if a person right now killed himself, he would be considered, lower than a coward because there were black folks that lived before he did that had it worse, and people who had it worse off than he did, and people who were worse off and worse. You go back to the people on the slave ships that they really. I mean, if anybody had wanted to take that on, it would have been, those people, the people from Amistad or something like that. But, if you really, suicide is not the way to go. It is a permanent solution for a temporary problem.
Well, we're missing. Donnie Curry's not out here today.
Yeah.
So I don't see a bunch of red on my chat here.
That's strange. That's strange.
Usually he covers up the whole block.
Yuri Walker says, did any of you see the story? It says, scoop the nuts, mentally ill roundup plan after train pushes? No, I didn't know about that. Wow, I may have to check that out soon. But
Donnie got bad news.
What's the news?
Oh, it says according to this Yuri Walker, the city is making a major push to sweep the streets of dangerous mentally ill New Yorkers. Wow.
Are you kidding me?
Wow, you're the.
I guess I'm the guy that they're gonna sweep up.
Well, what's about Donnie's bad news? Does anybody know, or are you just interjecting? Did we miss out on something?
Wow.
Said
he has a
oh boy.
Oh boy, that's not good.
That's
he has
not
a
good.
heart murmur and another stroke. Wow.
Actually, I had a heart murmur, and come to find out that I had what is known as a bicuspid aortic valve. So I spent almost nearly 6 months in the hospital, and they replaced my heart valve. And I also had an aneurysm on my aorta, so they had to replace some of that. And so this heart murmur is kind of a generic term for something else. He probably has a problem with one of his valves. Yeah, I hope he does get better and rejoins us soon. As much as I get on Donnie, we really do like him here.
Right.
Not to say I love him, but I like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's 10:10 a.m. I did have one local story about police sorting out the shooting of an armed robbery on Ridge Avenue. It said that people living in the 3000 block Ridge Avenue called 911 to report gunfire, only to learn that Macon police officers were already investigating a report of a personal armed robbery at the Rivera Court Apartments back at 3013 Ridge Avenue. It says officers were dispatched about 4:40 a.m. to the holdup in their radio.
What day was this?
It says, I guess last Friday.
No, that was last week, man. We already covered that.
Oh, you already covered? Okay.
Yeah, that was the one where they had the taser, remember?
Oh, about the taser. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Pink Unicorn, he says that Donnie's a good
You're
guy.
on time.
Pink Unicorn says Donnie's a good guy, he just has some weird ideas.
Yeah, no, we all got weird ideas, we're all weird.
Yeah. By the way, Yura, is that true? The city's making a major push to sweep the streets of dangerous, mentally ill New Yorkers. How are they going to pick on us? Which, by the way, I always felt that that's one of the reasons why I'm not liked in this city so much, because I'm what they know around here as a carpetbagger. That's what they call us.
Yeah.
Good morning, Eve. Haven't seen you in a bit.
Oh, okay. E-canvas, plastic canvas. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, you got something else on there.
Yeah, I was trying to get some more updates about the security guard who tased a belligerent woman. He also tased an African American guy.
Recently? This guy's going taser crazy.
Well, there was this guy who was trying to, basically he was belligerent and he got tased again, and he was reported on the news, Atlanta News, and said that he was going to file a charge on the guy for tasing him, and that's pretty much what I've heard. And also there was some other stories about there were some people who were giving donations for him. Already gave him $20,000 to get him new equipment, more taser equipment, more a firearm, even more pepper spray. It says Darian Long, a shopping mall security guard, has received a rush of donations after posting a video that showed him applying a taser to an abusive woman outside the Atlanta mall. Long is heard on the video saying, back it up, and shows her the taser. The woman begins hitting him in the head anyway, and Long uses the taser on the woman, who drops to the ground near the church where she is with, who appear understandably upset.
Yeah.
The shocking video went viral, and a crowdsourced campaign to raise money to get the mall guard even better equipment had already brought in some $20,000, according to news station WSB. So that's what's going on. So see, people are not putting up with crazy
patrons.
we were just
talking about.
Okay.
Gamer Girl. Absolutely right. When I rode the subways,
Click on that.
Oh, okay.
I would never stand at the edge of the platform. But then that's just me. I mean, I always stood behind, if you remember, the yellow line. And even that, I was always kind of afraid somebody was going to just push you. I mean, that's the kind of the feeling you get riding the subways. And it may just be somebody walking by, something, these people are stupid. And walk by you, and you know, with crowded platforms, they kind of push you out of the way, which is how New Yorkers sometimes relate. And so I, even as a kid, never stood anywhere near those tracks. I always stayed in the middle of the platform or behind that yellow line.
Wow. Well, they said they're finally going to put a guardrail up there. They should, anyway. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's been happening more and more lately, I know.
Well, anyway, I have the story about scooping the nuts, mentally ill roundup plan after train pushes. It says the city is making, this is from the New York Post, says the city is making a major push to sweep the streets of dangerous mentally ill New Yorkers, and has even compiled a most wanted list, the Post has learned. It says the measure follows a pair of high-profile subway shove fatalities from December, allegedly involving mentally ill individuals. The city has already drawn up a list of 25 targets, according to the source. It says after the Queens subway attack of immigrant Sunato Sin, the city decided to take a proactive approach to track down the most dangerous mental health patients that currently have mental hygiene warrants, quote-unquote, out for them, a law enforcement source said. Those warrants mean that the patients are not wanted for a crime, but are instead being sought because they are not getting their court-ordered treatment. There are a handful of cops assigned to the detail, which began working in the past few weeks. Cops in the NYPD's Real-Time Crime Center are using high-tech methods to first track down the individuals, and detectives on the street have been assigned to go after them and to take them to hospitals, law enforcement sources said.
That's good.
Yes. The city is now concerned it could be liable if one of those people can go off rails and hurt someone or themselves. It says that in the past, the city Department of Health would ask cops for help finding mentally ill people who aren't making their court-mandated meds so they can be taken to clinics. But that only applied to those who had known addresses, and patients who went off the grid were rarely pursued. And that has prompted the health department to seek more help from the NYPD. These patients could, of course, be dangerous, according to health officials.
Wow. Shit, they didn't do that when I was there. Meanwhile, this homeless problem and I mean, that was one of the biggest problems that we used to face when it comes to the homeless is they laid in the subway car. They smelled and reeked like dead people, some corpse. They smelled horrible, and they never took them in. They were the same people every day, all the time. You would have the same homeless guy laying in the car, stinking up the car. And there was one in particular that was around for a while. And every time you opened up the door, you know, it was an empty car. The guy had it to himself. That's how bad he was.
Wow.
Wow. Ay, Lord. Okay,
Yeah.
Official gamer going, no and no Vorp again. I'm starting to notice a pattern. You're right.
Very interesting.
Very interesting. Davis was claimed voices guided his deadly act. And a horrifying shove sent allegedly by accused Muslim-hating maniac, I guess.
And Gamer Girl, my daughter, according to Plastic Canvas, Gamer Girl, my daughter was sick with the flu in the daycare. Day after that, my husband blacked out. I was in the washroom and I was sick. Had to send him by ambulance, and he has to live a stress. He has to have a stress test and have to see a heart specialist. That's why I wasn't here.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're back.
Yeah.
How's it going? How's it going with him?
I guess hopefully he's improving. Yeah, me too much better.
Okay.
Much
Good. God bless you. I'm glad he's okay. You know, having a heart condition, like when people, if people really start to feel like a heat in their chest and things don't go away, you should get it checked out. The heart's a very, very, although it's the strongest muscle, one of the strongest muscles in the body, it also is one of the weakest.
Delicate,
yeah. And see, I walked around with this heart murmur, and everybody knew about it. Even the doctors knew about it, and they knew about my aneurysm. It had grown from it was 3.3 whatever, or 3 centimeters. That's what it was. It started out as 3 centimeters, but during my divorce, with all of the stress, it grew to 5.4. Now, normally, it would blow, the aorta would have blown at 5 centimeters. And so I was 0.5 over the limit. And even a doctor said, divine intervention worked on your behalf. Because when we looked at that aorta, it was hanging over the heart like a sock. Like, that's how big that thing got. And so, and meanwhile, I didn't know. My mother would take me to the hospital and they said, well, he has a heart murmur. Well, what I had was a bicuspid aortic valve. I didn't have just a murmur. You understand what I'm saying? So people should get checked out. That's my advice for today.
Okay. It's 10:20 a.m. right here in Macon, Georgia, at the live from the Nut House during the morning roast. It's 34 degrees right now in Macon. It's getting warm up a little bit with a high of 61 and a low of 42. So if you got a jacket on, be able to keep it on at least until it reaches 40 or 50 degrees. You may be able to take it off.
Yeah.
But excuse me. But speaking of,
I'm sorry.
I was just saying what you were saying. About mental illness and stuff, but speaking of assorted nuts, according to Phil Mushnick, his story, it says CNN's Nancy Grace sinks even lower.
Wow. How much lower? That weirdo is from Macon, Georgia. What do you expect?
Says
no offense there.
Yeah, I understand. Says, with any luck, the shameless state of U.S. broadcast news bottomed out last Tuesday at 10:14 p.m. Eastern Time on CNN's Headline News. That's when Nancy Grace, the ghoulish stalker of ghoulish stalkers, real and hoped for, followed the appearance of taped testimony after that day of pretty young Jodi Arias. Arias is accused of murdering her ex-boyfriend by doing things that seem to be Grace's stock and eager self-promotional TV trade. Shooting him in the face, stabbing him 29 times, and slitting his throat ear to ear. When Arias's non-specific and non-sexualized testimony recounted several of her romances ended, Grace turned to the camera and said, quote, "Why are we learning whether she gave a guy a blowjob years ago in the parking lot?" Unquote. Only she didn't include any hyphens. Nor were her words edited or later attached to an apology. For crying out loud, she appears smug, self-satisfied to have so easily spoken such a vulgar expression on a national televised cable news station. And then, in case anyone missed it, she repeated the expression. Wow. Yet Nancy Grace is out to get the bad guys and gals, those who were stained with blood, the pure fabric of American society. She's on the side of all that's right, and her name, as if to remind us that the world has become satire-proof, is Grace. So, wow.
Wow. Well, I think Nancy Grace was thinking about giving a guy a blowjob. And she should, maybe to shut her mouth. She's too damn busy giving a guy a blowjob. I can't stand that woman. She sensationalizes everything. No, I find her more than annoying. Once again, all I'm going to say is that Nancy Grace, in simple terms, is a media whore and a bitch. That's it. I can't stand her. I never watch her show. Because every time she's there, she's all emotional and all this game. Remember when that judge was killed by that black guy? That he was in court and he killed the judge. And then he ran off and he went to somebody's house and he was really cool. And then they finally arrested him.
Yeah, because the woman gave him some pancakes and he turned himself in.
Yeah. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you should have seen her. Oh, I know the judge, and the judge was this, and taking it on personally. Well, you wench, why aren't you here in Georgia talking about the Sammy Junebug thing? And if you notice, the Laura Giddens thing.
She hasn't talked about that either.
She hasn't talked about it because why? Because the girl was part of her university.
Yeah, she's a Mercer alumni. She's also a Mercer alumni.
Yeah, she's an alumni in Mercer, and she never mentioned it.
Right.
Never mentioned it. Like, she's not even following that story. Mm-hmm. So in a lot of ways, Nancy Grace will take a story and run with it, but meanwhile, what happens in her turf, she won't bring it up.
Yeah, because she don't want to make her city look bad.
Twice. She hasn't brought anything up about anything that happens here in Macon, ever. And so, except of course, the guy that killed the judge.
Right.
That's it. Really.
I was just reading the chat room. Official Gamer Girl says, Yuri Wildcat says, her husband was murdered in Macon. Nancy Grace is her first husband.
Who?
Nancy Grace, her husband was murdered in Macon years ago. Her first husband.
Was murdered?
Yeah.
Here?
Yeah. And I think that's probably what makes
They missed her.
Dang.
Somehow they were aiming at her and hit him instead. Shit. Life is a bitch, ain't it?
Yeah. Fisher Gamer Girl says, I'm glad the human race is going to die in the skinny jeans of these emo kids. The news just keep getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, too. Yeah, I mean, I don't have any kids, though, but I really am in fear of my niece and nephews. My nephew, I hope they're going to need a serious filtering process when they get older, because I hate to see the people, these crazy kids growing up and stuff, you know, some knucklehead want to try to talk to any of my nieces and stuff, and especially, or some little hood rat, you know, fast tail chick, you know, syphilis riddled chick gonna try to talk to my nephews and stuff. No, I don't even want to think that. It says, Yurick Wildcat says, yes, I find Nancy Grace annoying. And Gamer Girl says, I hate her too. And Diaz Photo Guy says, well, that dick's not going to blow itself.
Official Gamer Girl said, my daughter just woke up and said, Mommy, I keep hearing someone screaming. Who is that? LOL, she's talking about me.
Oh,
That's funny. Sorry, guys. What?
What?
Tell her. Don't tell her she's dreaming, but
Okay.
don't put her in front of the screen. By the way.
Yes.
I don't
yes.
recommend this show for little kids.
Yeah, please don't. Please don't. I mean, we just showed a doggone
That's funny.
hippo that had bad gas. I guess.
Yeah. Oh, I think we're frozen.
Okay, I hope we're not. Well,
No. We're okay. I froze.
Oh, okay.
That's me.
But it's kind of funny though. Like I said, in case you missed the first hour, we talked about there may be an outcome of the conclusion of the GBI investigation. We'll probably know about that later today. We don't know a specific time, specific hour, but we should know later sometime, maybe this afternoon perhaps. I guess. Yes, we'll know about that. Also, we talked about the Macon Film Festival just ended yesterday. I think the last film that they had was the Oscar-nominated movie Beasts of the Southern Wild, which the young black female, I forgot her name, it's kind of hard to pronounce. She's nominated for Best Actress. That played like 8 o'clock last night. That was the last feature that they had. And they had a record of 2,500 attendees going to this past film festival, this 4-day event, with the 87 entries that played this 4-day, including Megan's own Anthony Harris, who co-directed Nick Chopper and the 40 Wolves, which Anthony and I, myself, were casted. And it actually won a Premier Award for being participated in the 4-day film festival. Hopefully, it'll get bigger and bigger. And speaking of which, in case nobody weren't able to make it at the film festival, this past weekend there was also the NBA weekend that was going on in Houston, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
They had the Sunday. They ended the NBA All-Star Weekend with the All-Star Game, which they had the Western Conference versus the Eastern
Did
Conference.
Michael Jordan play?
Oh no! But I do have something story pertaining to that.
Okay.
The West Coast West Conference defeated the East Conference 143 to 138. Wow. The MVP, most valuable player of that game, was Chris Paul of the LA Clippers. Western Conference team. Yeah, neither have I. I don't know them many Clippers players. They're the other LA team.
He's the only one you know.
Yeah, pretty much, because people always know about the Clippers are like the other Los Angeles team. Everyone know about the Lakers, but not that many people know about the Clippers and stuff. So, also beforehand, do you have that video? Oh, well, I'll preface the video. Also, the day before the All-Star game, the day before on Saturday, they had a slam dunking contest sponsored by Sprite. And they had the different players who were playing, who were also in the contest, like Eric Bledsoe, Jeremy Evans, Kenneth Ferry, Gerald Green, James White, and Terrence Ross. Those were among the people who participated in this slam dunking contest. And according to
you had a story that I saw, the AARP.
Yeah. And Michael Jordan, yeah.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
That really shows me that Michael Jordan's getting up there in age.
Oh, yeah.
That the AARP has to be involved with Michael Jordan.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's very
That's
true.
to show you the kid is getting old.
Mm-hmm.
Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. We'll go ahead and roll it with the...
We're going to roll a video.
It's the main event on All-Star Saturday night, the Sprite Slam Dunk Contest, and we got a packed house with former dunk champions Kobe Bryant, Dr. J, Blake Griffin, and Gerald Green, who's participating in this year's dunk contest and doing that. Watch his head up by the rim. That's what Gerald Green is famous for. He gives the reverse jam, and you want to see some hops. Terrence Ross simply can't fly. The kid who plays for the Raptors has got hops for days. Kenneth Green, this dunk more difficult than you think. Off the backboard, between the legs, throws it down. Eric Bledsoe, the little guy with his head up by the rim. He plays for Lob City, so nobody's surprised by that. Jeremy Evans, this to advance in the west side of the team round. So it's Jeremy Evans out of the west, out of the east, Terrence Ross. This is Jeremy Evans' first dunk, and yeah, what's behind
Now that was fun.
Oh yeah, very fun. Mega fun. Makes me envy. Like, why?
By the way, did you notice there was a guy there that kind of looked like me with the hat on? And
I was wondering, like, what? So that's what you were doing? You were in Houston, Texas?
I was in Houston, Texas. See, this look that I have is repeated. Anyway,
that's incredible. As you know, Terrence Ross from the Toronto Raptors, he won the slam dunk contest by jumping over some shorts, either a kid or Irving, whichever. We don't know. He had a cap on just like him,
and glasses,
and just
which I don't have on today. I can't find.
And he did his thing, and I must say that's one of the things I wish I was just at least 5 inches taller to be able to do something like that.
Now, was that on national television?
Yeah, that was on national television. That was on TNT during the All-Star Weekend.
This is I'll have to look it up on the net.
Yeah, the NBA All-Star Weekend. It's really a huge thing for people who are like hardcore NBA fans. So, I mean, that's pretty much all you can.
I thought it was cool.
Oh, yeah. Very, very cool. NBA, the Slam Dunk, as I said, was sponsored
by the way, speaking of sports, I want to bring this up because it seems to be the elephant in the room here. But this Oscar, whatever his name is.
Oscar Pistorius, yes.
Yeah. Now there's a bat that's involved, a bloody bat. And so he may have not just shot her, but he may have beat the hell out of her with a bat.
Jeez.
Why don't you read the story, because you know how much I hate. Yes. Son of a bitch.
Oh.
Somebody ought to cut his other legs off.
They're already.
Yeah, they're both out.
But anyway, it says Blade Runner Oscar Pistorius may have bashed his model girlfriend's head with a cricket bat before shooting her 4 times, according to a South African newspaper reports. A source with inside knowledge of the case told the newspaper report that Riva Steenkamp's skull had been crushed, possibly by blows to the back of her head. It says there were a lot of blood on the bat, the source told the paper. Forensic tests show that whose blood it was. The bloody bat, the cricket bat, added to a new element of brutality to the South African superstar's alleged murder of the blonde bombshell who was shot in the head, chest, hip, and hand early Thursday morning at Pistorius' home, last Thursday or Valentine's Day.
A typical
wooden cricket bat weighs roughly 3 pounds and 38 inches long, making it heavier and longer than a regular baseball bat that we use in America.
Wow.
That's scary. Yeah, it's also kind of wider too.
Yeah.
Much wider.
Well, Saibuki knows this, right? We'll talk about that side. Why don't you finish the story?
Yes, police are focusing on 3 possible scenarios. All other sources close to the investigation said police had a rock-solid case against the iconic athlete who made history by running in the London Olympics wearing prosthetic carbon fiber legs, thus looking like blades, which he's known as the Blade Runner. Police are focusing on 3 possible scenarios as they piece together the violent night that left the career of the world's most famous disabled athlete in ruins. One suggests Pistorius, 26 years old, struck Steenkamp, 29 years of age, with a bat prior to shooting him. Another that she used the bat to defend herself. The third that Pistorius used it to smash his way into the bathroom where the wounded Steenkamp was cowering, the newspaper reported. It says that the pair had been sleeping together prior to the incident around 3:20 a.m. Steenkamp was wearing a nightie and the bedsheet showed signs 2 people had been sleeping there, the paper reported. A spent 9mm cartridge on the bedroom floor indicated to investigators that was where the deadly attack began, sources said. After the first gunshot, investigators suspect the wounded Steenkamp fled to the bathroom where she hid behind a door. Wow. The suspicion is that the first shot in the bedroom hit her in the hip. She then ran and locked herself in the toilet. She was doubled over because of the pain. He fired 3 more shots. She probably covered her head, which is why the bullet also went through her hand and head. The Pistorius' father, Henke, and sister Amy reportedly arrived at the house 10 minutes after the barrage found Pistorius with Steenkamp in the entrance hall of the barrage house. She was barely clinging to life. Paramedics arrived a short while later and tried for 30 minutes without success to resuscitate her. Pistorius, who broke down in tears during his first court appearance, has denied the murder charges. Wow.
The double amputee remains behind bars and will probably apply for bail Tuesday.
The same day, Steenkamp is going to be cremated in her hometown of Port Elizabeth, South Africa.
Awful. Awful.
Yes. Very awful. Very, very, very awful.
I mean, how much anger did this guy have? Maybe that takes a lot of anger to do what he did.
Well, yeah.
Don't you think?
Well,
maybe
of course.
He was on drugs.
Possibly. Do you think? Well, can a person with no real legs can be on steroids?
Oh yes, that's what they said. It was that he was taking steroids. Oh, and remember, this is South Africa, so it's not like American rules apply. There's somewhere I saw just recently that the guy was using steroids. And if you remember what happened even with that wrestler guy who was on steroids and he goes and shoots his family, kills himself.
Oh, Chris Benoit. Benoit.
So, I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's
pretty sad.
Very, very, very sad. I was just reading where what Fisher Gamer Girl says, "Oh dear God," about this story. I guess Plastic Camp says, "Guess he wanted to make sure that she was dead." Yeah, he's freaking nuts. Yurik says, "My mother did not keep up with the latest mischief, but she always knew when I was up to something." And it says, Gamer Girl says steroids. It says it possibly are steroids, but how do you need steroids when you don't have real legs? That's the crux of the thing. I mean, what you gonna do unless you're gonna oil them up or put like a motor in it or something like that? I mean,
somebody said it's for the upper body.
Possibly, but you could only do this so much, because really he's trying to move with his legs. I mean, you can do all the huffing and puffing, but I just don't, see it. But that's some stuff about sports. I mean, it's a bad way to go. But on to a much lighter note on sports.
Yes.
Something that Ed gave me says that CNN says she was brought up to be the fastest driver, not the fastest girl. And on Sunday, none of the boys were the fastest girl. So Danica Patrick made history, becoming the first woman to win the pole position for the Daytona 500.
Wow.
Sunday afternoon, yesterday.
Look at the car she's riding. Go, Daddy.
Yeah, it's a Chevy SS. Well, how about that? She won the pole position for Daytona 500, considered the Super Bowl of NASCAR, posting a lap speed of 196.434 miles per hour Sunday. In doing so, she also became the first woman to win a pole in any NASCAR top division race, racking up another milestone in her barrier-breaking career. She said that, "I've heard stories about a kid, a boy or a girl, saying, 'But mommy, daddy, that's a girl out there racing.' And then they can have that conversation, say that you can do anything you want to and gender doesn't matter. Your passion is what matters," and that's cool. What Danica Patrick told CNN's Don Lemon on Sunday. Says, "When the pressure is on and when the spotlight is on, they ultimately become my better moment," she said. Patrick, who was a favorite to win the pole, said she felt some nerves because of the high expectations. Says, "I feel more nervous when there is more on the line," she said. It was, quote unquote, "just don't make a stupid mistake." She said that driving a qualifying lap at Daytona, where drivers shift gears 3 times and then run the engine pretty much wide open, was 90% crew preparation and 10% driver. So not so, said the crew chief, Tony Gibson, who said it's an even split. He says, "I'm proud of her. She didn't even falter. She will start in the front row, when you win the pole position, she will start in the front row of the race for the February 24 race alongside Jeff Gordon, who ran a lap in the 2.5 Daytona International Speedway at 196, 2.2 miles per hour. So she and Jeff Gordon are going to be 1 and number 2 when the Daytona race starts on February 24th.
Wow.
That's wonderful. She's 30 years old.
Well, Diaz says I'd give her my pole position.
Yeah.
And then Gamer Girl says she doesn't impress me. DSO says, I position her on my pole. Tweetman says her and her husband are divorcing.
But we record the show too.
Yeah.
Yes, we record the show. How much is it worth to you? How much is it worth to you to edit it out?
Diaz says, I'm glad my girlfriend doesn't watch the roast. he makes these comments very blunt comments, and he doesn't want anyone else to know.
Wow.
Well, anyway, good for her.
Good for her. She made history, and she's going to go against Jeff Gordon, who's a perennial winner of Daytona 5 or NASCAR winner. It's gonna be a wing dang doodle of a race.
Wing dang doodle.
But speaking of more sports,
I was never impressed with NASCAR. My roommate used to watch it religiously, and I would watch, but I always thought, like, what's the big freaking deal? I mean,
yeah, well, I always saw that too, because I always thought, like, man, you kind of you're gonna waste all that gas running when we we were previously in a war trying to about oil. I know it doesn't make sense. And I remember I told one guy, like, why don't we just use the gas they use in NASCAR and put them in the cars here? And he said, man, that's crazy. It's kind of like rocket fuel. Try to put that in a little Volkswagen Beetle. You blow that sucker up.
No, you can't.
Well, Yurak said somebody's gonna wreck her. Yeah, not her husband. She's getting divorced.
Yeah. I think she got a new boyfriend or something. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at her making history. I know they're gonna try to do some dirty stuff. I mean, because we've seen there have been some crashes. There have been some times where people actually come to blows. I mean, like that one race they had, the last race they had back last year, like before the Daytona. One of them crashed into like Jimmy Johnson, one of the racers there, and it went from racing to boxing. They were just fighting each other in the middle of the speedway. So yeah, it's gonna be she's gonna have a work cut out.
Like hockey.
Yeah, kind of like hockey on wheels at 250 miles an hour. But speaking of, as you said, bringing up sports and Michael Jordan.
The AARP gives Michael Jordan the perfect 50th birthday gift.
Yes.
What, an AARP card?
Well, it says in Houston, I don't know if you heard, but Michael Jordan turned 50 years old yesterday on Sunday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Michael Jordan. You probably missed it, but it's not like anyone made a big deal about his birthday at all or anything or tweeting about it. It's been pretty a low-key affair. But luckily, the newly half-century-old Hall of Famer, the folks of the organization, formerly known as American Association of Retired Persons, AARP, didn't miss it. In fact, not only they put Jordan on the cover of the February edition of AARP magazine, but also gave him a special birthday gift, basically his very first, his own card.
What I say? You say?
Yeah, his own card. There's a picture of it on Instagram. If you ever get a chance to check it out, definitely check that out. I'll put the link on it, and hopefully check it out. And it's quite something to talk about. Who would have thought that doggone Michael Jordan would be part of the member of the AARP?
Yeah. Well, that he turned 50.
Yeah. He says, I'm not entirely sure the famously insanely competitive former Chicago Bulls and Washington Wizards star and current co-owner of the Charlotte Bobcats will appreciate the present. As he recently told ESPN's Wright Thompson in a fantastic feature story, he presently feels like he'd be willing to give up everything he's got to be both younger and an active NBA player. Which doesn't make him sound like someone, especially at ease with retiree living and the sort of positive social change for adults over 50, which AARP has long been associated. But MJ would do well to remember that advancing age has its benefits, especially discounts at your favorite retailers, dining and entertainment establishments, and home and automobile related items. Those savings can really add up. So basically, Michael Jordan celebrated his 50th birthday and got his membership card.
First membership card.
How about that?
Yeah,
congratulations.
Yurak was talking about NASCAR and their tax credits. Yeah, you got to find that story about Facebook and their tax credits.
Oh, is that right? They got one?
Yeah, they didn't have to pay tax. Taxes back.
Because the country's broke, nobody's going to pay to go to a very expensive NASCAR, so obviously they must have dropped by millions.
Wow.
I mean, there's no other reason, right?
You're right.
You know?
Diaz photo guy was talking about. I went to a fight once, and a hockey game broke out.
That's funny. Oh, I love Diaz.
Good one. And anyway, we still have about.
Oh, we got a phone call, folks.
Got a phone call.
Probably Anthony. Morning, Rose. No, he's watching us at the library.
How about that?
What do you think? How do we look? I know. He said, look at that bald head. Did you hear that? Yeah, he heard
Look
it.
at the bald head.
You need to get a better picture, man. I think you make the shadow sick.
All right, well, why don't you write something? Oh, I see. So how'd you get on? I see. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're going to start putting shit up on the wall over here. I got my picture that that artist made of me. What's his name? Yeah. I'm going to put that up. Thanks, man. Bye.
Okay.
Plus, he's at the library. That's why he's talking creepy.
Oh, okay. I was trying to figure
What we got coming on here, Ed?
I don't know.
Well, I was trying to read what he had on the Wordsmith, if he already had one. I think this is one he put in yesterday. Yeah. Actually yesterday. I'll go
Sunday.
Since Sunday, yeah. That's today's word, not randomly selected, from the Hidden Histories of English Words from A to Z by John Ayto. Sunday.
That was yesterday, by the way.
Which was yesterday, yes. Sunday is part of the general system of naming days of the week after heavenly bodies inherited by the Germanic peoples from the ancient Mediterranean world. The Romans called the day Dies Solis, Day of the Sun, which in translation has become German Sonntag, Dutch Zondag, Swedish Sondag, Spanish Domingo, Danish Sondag, and English Sunday. Welsh retains the term Dies Sol, but the Romance languages have gone over to various variations of Lord's Day in French Dimanche, in Spanish Domingo, as I said earlier.
Yeah, that's the one I posted yesterday.
Wow,
I
okay.
posted that.
Oh, not bad.
Yeah, Sunday.
Get credit to where I got it from, too.
Yes, I did. From the Histories of English Words from A to Z by John Ayto. Very good word. Very good word.
Very good word, but it would have been better if we had told it yesterday. But we're always
since we don't have a weekend show.
I knew there was something we were supposed to do yesterday.
What?
To come here to do the Wordsmith for Sunday.
Oh, yeah. Well, on the only reason. Oh, by the way, speaking of which, we talked about doing another nighttime show. But if we do a nighttime show, we're not doing a day show. So we'll send everybody at night and say, hey, we'll preface it maybe a week or two before. But I can't do 2 shows in one day. It's just too much.
Yeah.
And you run out of bullshit to say anyway.
I definitely have to agree with you on that.
Right?
Right.
Yeah, we'll do a night show, no day show. We'll do a night show. I think that would be
But what are we going to do? We're going to do
palatable.
We're going to skip the show in the morning.
In the morning. We're going to skip the show in the morning. That day.
No, I'd rather skip the show, do the show at night, skip the next show so we can sleep late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Okay.
We're going to just do 1 show a day. I mean, this shit ain't
I gotta
easy.
get my beauty rest, man, you know? I'm looking like shit lately.
You would not believe how hard it is to do this. I mean, as much as people think all we're doing is sitting at a table and talking to you guys.
Well, me and Herb, we do a lot. Now, Anthony, he just kind of like, he'll come in, like, plop his ass down, and there's...
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
But anyway,
DS Photo Guy says, I think Ed needs beauty hibernation.
Hibernation. Not sleep, hibernation. Sabuki says 3 months at least.
That's funny. See, they're hating on you, Ed.
Wow.
I did. I hibernated all week.
We're not the only ones that do it.
That's why I look so good today.
But
anyway, I just want to say, even though we have less than 10 minutes, we have 7.5.
It's amazing.
Just it flew by.
It flew by. You know, it really did.
Especially with these calls and the videos, they really just eat up the time. Not saying I'm not a. I mean, I appreciate it. That's for sure, because you can run out of stories. But you know, if you want to give us a call, maybe probably not later, probably not right now, because we have like 7 minutes left.
Yeah.
The number is 478-254-6287, or I suck goats.
Oh, you suck gnats.
Or suck gnats.
Yeah, I suck goats. I suck gnats. I'll put that link on there too. People
I know.
You put your phone number in, and it'll tell you what words it spells.
Yeah, unfortunately we don't have. I haven't found a sound effect for gnats though.
What's that?
There you go. Make one. Record it.
There you go.
I thought you were the voiceover guy. Practice makes perfect.
Okay, I'm not exactly Mel Blanc, but you know, trying to get that type. I mean, get up there. You know, sounding like Porky Pig right there. Get Fisher Gamer Girl said, "We're looking at you, G Wet Duck, aka."
Yo, we're gonna post this link out here, and y'all go there and come back and tell me what your phone number spells. And I promise I won't call you in the middle of the night and make prank calls.
There you go.
No, you know our number.
Oh yes, definitely for sure. I do. Well, I guess we could just close.
Well, you know, it's a good thing that it wasn't the area code 378.
Oh, what was that?
It would have said, it would have come up, I fuck goats.
Ew.
I'm actually liking that sound. You know, it kind of grows on you slowly.
Well, when the timing's right.
I don't mind. Yeah, it's all about time.
Yes, definitely when the time is right.
But okay.
Number 2, wordsmith. Oh, we already did wordsmith. Sorry.
Well, we do have some trending now. I guess we'll be able to close out, go into the last 5.5 minutes of the show. There we have like top 10 subjects as number 10. The wealthiest U.S. presidents. Number 9, Alabama shakes. Number 8, Katy Perry ring. Number 7, Facebook pays no tax. Number 6, Carney enrages Bieber. Number 5, McCain.
Look at Facebook. What's what we were talking about? Remember Facebook?
Oh,
the
yeah.
Facebook one. Because we were talking about NASCAR.
Uh-huh.
Remember with the fiscal clip thing? And now Facebook, they don't have to pay tax. They're getting money back.
Wow.
Okay.
Talk about a bunch of suckers we are.
Oh yeah, that's true. I agree. Number 5, according to Trending Now on Yahoo.
Who's that?
Somebody.
We only have one. This is trending.
Oh, MMA star Ronda Rousey. She's a female MMA fighter.
This is trending. Somebody pick something out here.
Yes. Pistorius cricket bat. We already talked about that. Number 3, killed same day. Sister sat behind Obama. Number 2, Tom Hilton apologizes. And number 1, Mark Burrell or Barrow. Which one you want to talk about? Kill the same day or wealthiest U.S. presidents?
Yeah, let's do the wealthiest U.S. president.
Okay.
Let's see what that's all about.
Okay.
All right, the 10 richest presidents.
Yes, according to, I guess, Fox Business News.
Yeah.
Wow. President Obama's net worth may be $7 million.
What is it?
President Obama's net worth may be $7 million, but that's nothing compared to the net worth of these 10 former U.S. presidents.
Okay.
Wow.
This is fun.
Number 10 is John Fitzgerald Kennedy. JFK, his net worth was $1 billion. He never inherited his father's fortune. He was in office from 1961 to 1963.
Well, you can read each
35th president. Well, no, I know we don't have time.
Get to the meat of it.
Okay, the meat of it. Number 9 is William Jefferson Bill Clinton. His net worth is $55 million.
That's
42nd president. Yeah, 42nd president. Number 8 is William Delano Roosevelt. Net worth $60 million.
No, Franklin. Well,
Franklin Delano
William.
Roosevelt. Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
Oh.
Yeah, $60 million. He was worth $60 million. Number 7 was the 31st president, Herbert Hoover. His 31st, he was worth $75 million.
That guy started the FBI too.
Really?
Hoover, yeah, I believe it was. One of our chatters will tell me if I'm
okay.
wrong. I think Hoover's the one who started the Federal Bureau.
Keep going.
That's J. Edgar Hoover. That's J. Edgar Hoover. That's not he wasn't president.
Oh, it's a Hoover.
Yeah.
This
Number
sucks.
6.
This sucks.
Number 6, Lyndon Baines Johnson.
Lyndon Johnson.
36th president succeeded JFK. His net worth was $98 million.
Wow.
Number 5 was the 4th president of the United States, James Madison. His net worth was $101 million.
Wow.
Largest landowner
That
in
guy
Orange
was a
County,
god
Virginia.
at that time.
Yeah. His land holding consists of 5,000 acres. And 4th richest president, 7th president, was Andrew Jackson. His net worth was $119 million. While he was in touch with middle-class Americans, he was quietly became one of the wealthiest presidents of the 1800s. And Old Hickory, he married into wealth and made money in the military.
Yeah, but that much money back then.
Mm-hmm.
God damn.
Yes, over.
This is what how 100 years ago.
That's like
over 160
like
years ago.
A trillion.
Possibly right now, yeah. Included, he owned his homestead included 1,000 acres of prime real estate, and over the course of life, he owned as many as 300 slaves. Even though he was in debt a lot. Number 3 was 26th President Theodore Roosevelt. His net worth was $125 million. Born into a wealthy family, he received a sizable trust fund. He had a 235-acre estate, Sagamore Hill, which now sits on some of the most valuable real estate on Long Island. Number 2, second most richest president, wealthiest president, was Thomas Jefferson. He was the 3rd president, had $212 million. He was left 3,000 acres and several dozen slaves by his father in Monticello, his home that had a 5,000-acre plantation in Virginia. And the richest one of all, was the first president, George Washington.
Baby.
Net worth was $525 million.
What do you think that's worth today now? Over $1 billion.
Probably in the billions by now.
Trillions.
Possibly.
Trillions. Man.
Possibly.
When you think about a hamburger, when I was a kid, it was like 10 cents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much does it cost now for a horse burger?
She's probably what, a burger? A burger?
I think these guys may have even funded their whole 1776 bullshit, you know?
Possibly.
The war between England and America.
Well,
oh my God, we got 1 minute to go.
Yeah, Mount Vernon, yeah.
Right.
Washington had 8,000 acres.
Parting thoughts.
His salary was 2% of the U.S. budget in 1789. How about that?
Well, Saibugi says it's pittance compared to the Queen of England.
Well, of course.
Yeah, by the way, tomorrow we're going to talk about that. I was thinking about the Queen, and now she's the head of the Church of England, and how she never retired. She doesn't want to retire, and I still think that it should be William. Should be the king
instead of Charles,
and skip Charles, skip right over him.
Wow.
I think it would be a disgrace to the crown to have Prince Biggie as Charles. Anyway, first of all, he looks like the guy from Mad Magazine. Alfred E. Newman.
Wow. Sabuga says pittance compared to the Queen of England. He says, Derek, I have news for you on the gaming front, but I'll post on Facebook for you. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll definitely look for it, and we'll definitely talk about it on tomorrow's show. I want to thank all our chatters here: Sabuki, DS Photo Guy, Harry Sachs, Pink Unicorn, Spokes, Three Bears, Fisher Gamer Girl, Yurick Wildcat, Eve, aka Plastic Canvas, Gecko Lizard, Guess, Acid Star, Dumb Face, Red Mama, Wet Duck, and Wild Snow. Thank you, Blog TV, for featuring us. And it's 11:01, and it's 44 degrees. Get a little bit warmer. Get a little bit warmer. May need a jacket. Maybe a windbreaker or something.
I got 51.
Oh, 51 degrees? Okay.
51.
By the way, we love you, chatters.
51.
Well, hopefully Anthony will be here tomorrow, and we'll see you tomorrow. Same blog time, same blog channel, 21 hours from now.
Thank you.
You take care.
Good night, guys. Good day, rather. Whatever.
Yeah, good day, yeah, mate.